Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday night. Well, it's Thursday. Close enough. It's always Tuesday night here. I am your host, MC Toon, and tonight I will be debating on modern day debate, and I will be live streaming here. You're welcome to watch on modern day debate. You're welcome to watch here. Either is fine. I will, during, it starts in about 15 minutes. During the debate, I won't be responding too much to the live chat here. But then after the debate, I'll come back and do a little chat with you there. So I need to get set up the interface there. There it is. That's it. Now, you know what's coming up. What's coming up is the eclipse. I hope you're all going. I know you can't all go, of course, but it should be. I hope it's good. I hope it's the weather is good. I've been watching the weather in Texas, and it's looking a little better than it was. So anyway. If you're not in the States or Canada or Mexico, then it's a bit more of a drive. So 80% eclipse says platonic cuddler for their location. So anyway, thank God for punk rock bands. Hope you like the shirt. Put your favorite punk rock band in the chat, the live chat, or if you're watching this later, in the comments of the video. So I will be debating Dustin Nemos. So he's a religiflerf, which typically means they're toxic. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that is the case. What else? So we've got. I received an email. So the final experiment, that video came out on Sunday, and then I got an email afterwards. And I think everybody got an email that was invited. So there are 24 Globers and 24 Flat Earthers invited. And I was in the list. I got the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And they went over all of the both sides. So if you're interested in that, it says it's going to be the final experiment. So whatever that's going to be, I hope it's great. Flat Earthers typically are not very good at experiments. So Industrial Nerd went to Menards today. Oh, Menards is great. So anyway, what else? Next week on Tuesday, I will be doing my live stream from, I'm not sure yet. It depends on weather. If it's raining on Tuesday, then I won't be doing it out in a field. That was the original plan. So we'll I may have to find the pavilion at the local Veterans Memorial Park. Seems to be the best way to do it. Okay, I've got the link. So I need to get the modern day debate chat up. So let me grab that. Where is it? I'm gonna put that on the screen too. See, you're on there, and we'll get modern day debate on there. There it is. Pop out chat. There it is. All right. Righty. Oh, the derp is already started over there. They can't not be wrong. They want to be wrong so bad. Flatties. Oh yeah, another thing. I will be in Colorado on April 13 and 14. So if you're in the Denver area, then you can come see me do a live in-person debate with Joe Hill, who's goes by Effed Up World on YouTube, or you can come on Sunday morning at Will Duffy's church. I will be giving the Sunday morning. Well, it's not going to be a sermon, so I don't want to call it a sermon, but I will be talking there. So anyway, glad yeah, if you're not a fan of the modern day debate, then I'm glad that you can be here today to join me in this venue. So all right, I think I got that. I need to add. That's what I need to do. Live chat 1, live chat 2. There it is. All right. The Zoom link has been sent. I will be clicking it momentarily. It's opening it up right now. Passcode. Here we go. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's all good with Dustin. Right. I see Ryan there.
Is I the Rye? How's it going?
It's great.
Ooh, heavy hail going on out here. I don't know if it's when I'm hosting you or if it's just like I've always just got bad weather here. I'm gonna be a stereotype for Canadians if you're streaming right now.
I am streaming, so people will hear you talk about Canada.
Oh no.
Right.
Oh, they'll be like, that guy can never shut up. All right. How's it going, McDoon?
It's good. I'm gonna get you. Are you a flat earther?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm the non-biased part. You've
Uh,
never seen any of the after shows, have you?
when people call me McToon, it tells me who they are.
MC Tune? I'm sorry. I am I supposed to say MC? I'm
No,
sorry.
no. Hey, you're
Like
it.
MC Hammer.
That's where it came from. Uh,
Sorry. I think you explained this last time, and in my defense, no to your question, but no, definitely not. But no, that's just because my wife is a Mick. So uh,
oh, I see.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So when I see that, that's automatically what my brain says. So I'm sorry if I do that again. I'm gonna apologize right now. I'll do my
It's
best.
all right.
I was
Flat
trying to think
earthers
MC Hammer.
they self-identify um, by doing that. That's how I know.
Oh, well then I better be careful because yeah, I don't want I don't want to be lumped in with anybody there.
All
All
right.
right, we're just waiting for Dustin, and then we'll have our screens all up to par. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad you're making it all right. I'll try my best to remember that. I got all the timers ready, and I
Okay.
got your format set up
All right.
because it's
Cool.
definitely different. But
Yeah.
I think it'll
Well,
be interesting and fun.
it helps to keep things on track and moving along and less dumpstery, fiery. Um,
Let's hope.
so you have in the past, I've noticed that you can adjust individual people's volumes somehow. Is that the case in Zoom?
Um, no, I don't adjust anybody's
Okay.
individual volumes.
Just Zoom as a whole.
Yeah, I'll adjust the desktop output. So like if there's a ton of crosstalk, like I'm not even gonna especially if we got like 2v2, I'm not even gonna go into Zoom and mute people. I'll just turn off all the audio
Oh
to
yeah.
going to the stream. Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, I can turn down the overall audio if I'm like, oh gee, we got a
Well, yeah.
really loud speaker.
I was
Um
asking because I haven't seen in Zoom where I can adjust individuals, so it'd be a
oh
great
sorry.
feature for them to do, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be nice. You know, that and if after already having the call started, if me as the host could change it to make it so that people can't unmute themselves, because I'll be honest with you, there are times that I've put people on mute and then I forget to take them off and they're sitting there and I'm like, all right, it's your turn, and
You
they're
you
like,
can change that after the call starts.
oh, okay. I was gonna say because I tried doing it last time and I could not. I mean, I shouldn't say last time. I think it was when Ross was on, and there was a lot of interruptions going on. I mean, even Ross would admit to that. So
Ross
they
is
were
proud
unmuting
of his
themselves.
interrupting. That's his it's his shtick.
Well, yeah, and unfortunately, that was going to ruin it for other debaters who, like I said, I've left them high and dry sometimes going, and no one can hear them. They're just moving their mouth. So, like I said, I try to keep it so you can do it yourself. Just I only do it as a reminder of like, hey, give this person a space. Because especially if you disagree with them, then give them a chance to be, so disagreeable as it were, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, you gotta keep your friends close, they say, right? And keep your enemies
Something
closer.
like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
don't know how close. Dustin is. Maybe I'll send him an individual email here just to kind of prompt him along.
All right. I do have, I'm going to mute myself there. I got a couple things to read here. So,
Yeah, yeah, do what you need to do. Hi, MC Tunes audience. I'm gonna get that name right. Sorry, buddy.
all right. Steven or Stefan Jarvis says, can't watch live, but good luck in the debate tonight. Maybe this is the one where flat earth evidence is brought forward. Oh, don't hold your breath. Ashton Richards is says heart you tune. Thank you, Ashton. NA says I came in late. Any plans for the eclipse? I will be in North Texas. If you want to jump on my Discord server, there's an eclipse channel, and you can talk with other people there. If you're interested in joining, the location will be there, and then of course if there's any changes the day of, they will be posted in there as well. So then we've got Basic Info is a new member at Newton, so thank you for that. Ryan just walk across the screen there. All right, I think I got the chat situation set there, and then I've got a browser. Let me get this going here so we get there we go. All right, I have some presentations ready to go. Hopefully you are all hopefully Dustin is ready for that. You know, I wonder, I kind of get the idea that Dustin is not going to even attempt evidence. What do you think? I can start a poll. Will he There you go. Will Dustin even attempt to present evidence? Professor Phil Bell asks, will I do a live stream from my eclipse location? Probably not, because there will be so much cell phone congestion that there's no way I can do it. I think that's, I might not even, if you've ever been in a place where there's a big crowd of people, like you can't do it. You can't send anything. So, and of course there is no flat earth evidence, but they try, and that's what's cute about them, right? So the question is, will he even try to present flat earth evidence? And so that's the poll, really. I do have the Flurf bingo ready to go. All right, Ryan, what's anything?
No, I wish I could tell you what's shaking, but it's
Wow.
yeah, I got my due fixed, and that's about it. That's all I can tell you.
Looking better.
Yeah, I realized I had a real McCartney in the mid '60s look going on there. So yeah, I
All
figured I'd do
right.
something about it. Might be a little out of style at this point.
So what kind of music is your band?
Oh, the band I'm in, we just do all classic rock. So
Oh.
all stuff that would get you demonetized.
Do,
I
do,
came.
do you do any punk?
I mean, if you consider Paranoid by Black Sabbath punk, it's early
No,
enough, right?
no. Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
thank God for punk music bands. You know what? I'd like it'd be fun to host you, Mike, against your old pal Mike, who is a flat earther because he plays in a punk band.
Who?
So
Which
his
which
name's your old pal Mike, and he runs
Oh,
the Flat Earth archives there.
yeah, I was um James had been trying to set that up a while ago with him, but he's I don't know, he's touring Antarctica or going off past the edge of the flat earth somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think he's been posting a lot of music, a lot of stuff with his family. So I think he's, just focusing on other things, which is great, right? Seems like he's having a fun time. But that's why I said if we ever do get him on later on, I think you'd probably get along pretty good, just on at least that aspect
Yeah.
alone. He's pretty rocking, honestly. He's not afraid to just smack his guitar and sing without any drummer behind him. See me, I want everything, right?
Hmm.
I'm not cool enough to do it on
Well,
my own.
my live chat is not impressed with your asking if the Paranoid is punk. Uh, they're laughing. And they say Paranoid is rap. Uh,
What? What? Do these people not know what
I
Black Sabbath is?
I don't know.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I
a
know the
straight rock
song.
and
I know
riff,
the
right?
song, but I wouldn't call it punk either. I wouldn't call it rap. I don't think it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there's a
Huh.
band called Paranoid they're thinking of,
I
or a
don't
different
know.
song called Paranoid. Like BC Boys has a song called Paranoid, I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe they got it confused. No, I like
Yeah.
old like 70s, like majoritively Led Zeppelin. I do a lot of Led Zeppelin. Anything I get to scream. I've often called it free
Mm.
therapy when you get out and just scream at people and then they're like, "Yeah, that's awesome." When else do you get to do that? All right,
I don't
Dustin's
know.
getting in here now, which is good timing because we're just about ready to roll.
Just a boot.
All right,
Just a
almost
boot.
just about. Yeah, can you hear us there, Dustin?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I'm a minute
Um,
behind here, or two.
No problem. So, we got a different format going on. Who would like to go first? So, the first 5 minutes will be simple intro and short non-debate things. So that's what I got here is our 5 minute intro. So who would like to go first?
I'd be happy to, but doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Sure, I defer, Adam. I'm not picky.
All right. I think that's fine because I think every time I host Dustin, I think I make you go, well, your side go first. So that's fun. We'll try that instead. Well, let me get the show fired up and then I'll check the stream. Oh, it's good to make sure it's working. I mean, if not, then it's working on the MC Tunes. I almost did it. MC Tunes and it's like a tick. You're gonna have to teach me to behave. All right. Let's
All right.
see.
Well, he's starting up. I need to catch it because I'm watching the screen and I need to turn off the audio because I don't want it to feed back to through Zoom. So yeah, I do have the bingo card ready. Dano, I agree. Yeah, and I always thought Black Sabbath was.
If Mike is talking to us, we don't hear you. He might be talking to his audience. Okay.
I always thought Sabbath
Yeah.
was metal.
That's working now.
Sometimes a little slow.
Worried that wasn't gonna work.
churny.
That's too much work for me.
All right, excellent.
And multitask.
All right. Yeah, I had muted myself while I was talking a little bit there so that I didn't interrupt you guys. So
No worries. No worries. So let's get this rolling here.
Paranoid is more hip hop OP than hip hop. Hip hop. Hip hop than hip hop.
Is
There you
Speed
go.
King
This
is Speed King by Deep Purple punk enough for people? I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Deep
know
Purple.
what do you want? All right, let's get into it, fellas. Good evening and welcome to Modern
There
Day
you
Debate.
go.
Tonight we're going to be debating flat versus globe Earth. And to start us off, we have 5 minutes on the floor for MC Tune. So thank you so much for being here, and the floor is yours.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start by sharing my screen if I can do that.
Sure can.
There you go. So I am MC Tune. I have a channel, MC Tune Live. I also have another channel where I do pre-recorded videos called Conspiracy Tunes. So if you're interested, go find me there. So how should we seek to determine the shape of the Earth? Is this sharing?
Yep, we can see
There it
that.
is. Okay. Well, you have to do a little bit of testing, don't you? So in a series of lectures by Richard Feynman, he described the key to science.
First we guess it. Then we well, don't laugh, that's really true. Then we compute the consequences of the guess to see what, if this is right, if this law that we guessed is right, we see what it would imply. And then we compare those computation results to nature. Or we say compare to experiment or experience. compare it directly with observation to see if it works. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. In that simple statement is the key to science.
So that's the key to science. You have to compute the consequences. Whatever you think is potentially the truth of reality, then you compute the consequences. You apply physics and geometry and things like that. Then you compare to experiment, observation, or experience. And if they don't match, your hypothesis is falsified or wrong, as he said. Flat earthers fail to do this in two ways. First, by getting the globe computations wrong. Often they ignore confounding variables. This is a straw man. And then by never computing consequences for flat earth. There's never, almost never anything. And if you can't do that, you're not doing science. The most common flat earth argument then is the globe predicts, and then something the globe does not predict. Then this observation does not match the not globe prediction. Therefore, flat earth. Obviously, this is both a straw man and a false dichotomy. So another common flat earth argument is personal interpretations of the Bible, therefore flat. But of course, many other people have different interpretations than flat earthers. And whose is right? Well, fortunately, we can just go measure the shape of the earth and see whose is right. We don't need to go to anybody's personal interpretations of the Bible. So there you go. I'm done. Thank you for that. That's my introduction.
All right, you got it. I'll reset the timer, and the floor is going to be yours. Just a reminder, everybody, to hit the like button and share this out. We're at the top of the stream, so let's try to get this, beat the algorithm. So, Dustin, you got 5 minutes on the floor, and it's all yours.
Okay, so I just got back. I glitched out there, so I may cut my video. I'm on satellite. That might help a bit. I will at some point share screen. Okay, so I'm Dustin Nemos, journalist at Nemos News Network and archivist at theserapeum.com. A bit about me first, I guess. I stand witness as a former devout, lifelong, anti-God atheist that never lost a debate with any theist in my life, that as someone who tested biblical flat earth, I converted to what you might call a scientific fundamentalist Jesus freak instantly upon testing of various religious holy texts. Only the Hebrew Bible has 100% accurate synchronized prophecies in fine detail by the hundreds or thousands of years apart every single time. I stand corrected and humbled eternally, having thought myself wise before. And in my time, I have woken up tens of thousands of others to Christ, to Yahweh, to biblical earth, using the scientific method to prove biblical earth, precisely as God told us. I witness there is no more powerful tool in a modern Bible scholar's toolkit or truther's toolkit than biblical flat earth and the seed war to wake everyone up to the truth of God, our creator, Yahweh, who wrote his name on every cell of our body. And if you think fake news was bad, wait until you see history and science. With that said, I guess we're going into the evidences already. I thought that was kind of the next section, but sort of in the same vein, I didn't catch all of your presentation, but the same vein is how do we approach this rationally with deductive reasoning, with the scientific method, and with respect for intellectual honesty, and how do we verify or falsify our hypotheses? So all evidence regarding the shape of the earth can be categorized into two main classes or categories, maybe. The first class of evidence is something that can be obtained, experienced, and verified by independent individuals and regular people. And the second class is what we get from third-party sources like NASA and the government. And I'll basically throw all of the other governments, NASA's, into the same category as NASA. Same thing, same symbols, in fact. A serpent's tongue speaking through a forked disc, incidentally. If we consider only class 1 evidence that we can test or experience ourselves, without any doubt, our senses and eyes tell us that the earth is flat and stationary. The horizon appears flat and remains flat regardless of our altitude. Roads, bridges, and railways do not account for any curvature of the earth in their construction. Lighthouses are visible from dozens of miles away. Skydivers jumping out of a plane land on the ground without any movement or horizontal translation due to the alleged rotation of the Earth. When traveling on an airplane, the airplane does not constantly adjust its altitude nor pitch for the alleged curvature of the Earth. The airplane remains level throughout the flight. This is impossible if the Earth is a sphere. When we consider evidence obtained from Class 2, which we cannot independently verify, for example, from NASA, we have plenty of reasons to be skeptical. The Apollo 11 moon landing mission is a perfect example. Briefly, a couple of the examples, I've done a different debate on this channel, in fact. Check that out as well. A little plug for you guys. The photographs are obvious fakes since artificial light sources are used given multiple shadow lines, identical landscape backgrounds in several photos. And these are common tactics, not just the moon landing, by the way. The lack of craters and dust on the Eagle landing pads and rover destroyed evidence, by the way. That's pretty common. All 1.5 tons of film footage and telemetry has been destroyed. They famously or infamously have declared they destroyed the moon landing technology. That's why they couldn't get back until allegedly recently. The sea rock labeled with a printed C found in numerous photographs. And lastly, scientists now admit that the Van Allen radiation belts cannot be presently transversed with our current technology. It started in kindergarten when they put a globe in front of us and said, "That's where you live." Then they showed us a picture of Columbus sailing over the edge, and everyone laughed at how ridiculous that was. Hollywood science class and NASA helped continue the psyop. They programmed us this way so that when someone legitimately questions the shape of the Earth, we dismiss them as crazy flat earthers. Education, so-called, and cognitive dissonance take over from there. The Bible, gyroscopes, airplanes, whales, radar, sonar, railguns, lighthouses, the Bedford Levels experiment, lasers,
10 seconds.
cameras, long-distance thermal imaging, math, and observations, and many other things prove the Earth is not a ball. Question everything.
All right. Thank you so much. That's time. Thank you to MC Toon and Dustin Nemos for both of your introductory statements. We are going to move into 5-minute back and forth evidence-based presentations. Just want to remind everybody, if you're listening right now in the live chat, once again, to hit that like button. We really appreciate it. Love to see all the lively discussion in the live chat. And also, if you're listening on podcast form, which all of our debates are uploaded to our podcast form within 24 hours, and you're thinking, man, I would love to interact with these speakers live for the Q&A we do at the end of the show, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, Modern Day Debate. So we'll put it over to you, MC Toon, 5 minutes on the floor, and thank you again for being here.
All right, I am sharing my screen again.
All right, you're up and running.
All right, well, this is concerning Rowbottom's claim number 15 and Eric Dubay's claim number 2. Sorry. Rowbottom and Dubay both claim that the horizon always rises to eye level, and this is a good point because it's a requirement for flat Earth. Here is Rowbottom's 15 experiment number 15. But he did that from the top of a rather not very tall building, and he used an instrument called a clinometer, which he described as just being a tube with a string across it. At the time, there were available theodolites, but he chose not to use one. But what he never did was calculate the actual globe prediction. He did not compute the consequences. Well, here I am. I'm going to compute the consequences for flat Earth right there. So there's a little diagram, not to scale, of somebody maybe in an airplane at 30-some thousand feet and over to the edge of the disk. Now, if this is incorrect, I would be happy to receive the correct way to do this. But lacking the correct way to do this, this is not a straw man. This is based on the claims that flat earthers have been making since the 1840s. So the distance from the observer to the edge of flat Earth and the height difference there, that creates a triangle. You can get that angle there. That's going to be the angular dip of the horizon. I won't go through all the math here, but it does output a formula. And calculating for 45 degrees north latitude looking due south, the distance of 9,000 some miles, the angular dip for flat Earth is 0.417 degrees or less if you include refraction. So now here is the other hand. I tested this myself. I'll get to mine myself, but this is the type of thing anybody can do. You can install the app Theodolite, the Theodolite app on your iPhone, or there's ones for Android as well. And you can measure the dip of the horizon. Here's one from 11,000 meters at 45 degrees north latitude. Well, imagine that. I had calculated already right there. 0.417 is the flat Earth predicted dip of the horizon. And the real Earth actual measured dip of the horizon is 3.3 degrees. So now we could go through the formula for the globe. It predicts a 3.3 degree dip. So that confirms the globe and falsifies flat Earth, this one right here. But that's not the only one. Here's another one that's a 3.2 degree dip from 48 degrees north latitude. Here's one I took myself at 6 degrees north latitude. That circle there is the moon, which is completely below me, and I'm at 35,000 feet. So if the Earth is flat, then the moon can be no more higher than 35,000 feet, which would be ridiculous, because nobody, except if you're really, really close to it, would ever see it at any significant angle in the sky. Falsifying flat Earth. Again, below that square on the screen is the clouds. The horizon is below eye level, so significantly below, but it wasn't crisp enough to get a raw measurement. But again, falsifying flat Earth. Here's one using a theodolite from a couple hundred feet elevation. This is in both faces of the theodolite. And then here it is turned down 269 degrees, 52 minutes, 10 seconds. So it did not rise to eye level, and that particular amount of dip is the amount of dip predicted by the globe. And if you're curious, I'm happy to go through the math on that as well. There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your first your introduction of your first line of evidence there. I got to learn how to speak here, and we're going to kick it over to Dustin. You got 5 minutes on the floor, and thank you again.
Okay, thank you. I've never seen so many flat pictures used to describe a curve, and the dip still seems flat, by the way. However, I will also share something as soon as this ad is played through it. Now it's going through and wanting me to buy the damn thing.
We're still ready to share, so I can pause the time for now while you get that ready.
It's annoying.
No
so BitChute's
worries.
starting to do like the 5-second ads every time. Okay, here we go.
All right, I'll resume your time.
That's annoying. Thanks. Okay, I'm just going to play this in the background. But basically, without the music, this is a spy plane at 70,000 feet with no curve, just visual, so everybody can kind of see what we're talking about here. Here we go, made it bigger. Now, I apologize, it's not the highest resolution, and I've got a bunch of other stuff to show you after this. I did not find the math that you just showed us convincing, but it was basically just math, and it breaks down, as you say, upon testing. So it falsifies your hypothesis of a curve. In fact, your globe curve math essentially tells us we miss our 6-foot friend after 3 miles or so, 4 miles at max. And that's just not the case. Anyone can verify. And there's a lot of experiments that we can use to confirm this from a personal perspective without having to trust anyone. We'll get to some of that, I guess, later, but examples being cold light from the moon, zooming in over the curve. You can bring the boats back, Mount Canigou, 100-something miles over the so-called curve. You can still see the mountain from beach level. The Alps from the UK, 700 miles, you can see over the so-called curve. And anywhere that you fly and you play spot the mountain, you'll be able to see over the curve. Mountains that should not be there, even at a great height, or mountains that should be much shorter or leaning away, you can see virtually the base anywhere. And yes, sometimes you can miss a little bit of the boat because of waves. Yes, the water level is not always perfectly flat because of waves. However, other than just distortion, another ad. That's annoying. Don't buy those flashlights. They suck.
No worries. Well,
Borax is better for you anyway. Borax is better. Anyway, we can see through actual real world testing and experience that what is happening above us concords with a flat biblical Earth better than it does the spinning heliocentric model. here, I'll repeat this. We can see time and location and a compass all coordinated with a flat Earth model. And this is a Gleason's map. It's not 100% perfect. The Gleason's map stretches the ocean. It's really a globe on a 2D model. So that's why they allow it. For example, the actual ocean between Alaska and Russia can be windsurfed. You don't even need a motor to cross that distance, but it's huge on the so-called UN or Gleason's map. But it's close enough to make an example. I will show you kind of the difference between the two models, maybe with some ads here.
Lightsabers are firing.
It's all good.
It's really not, it's not fair. Anyway, so geocentric model showed here, everything's spinning around us. And then here's their model. Everything is just shotgun blasting around this giant burning fart through the universe with rocks clinging to it, but not quite getting there. And, water stays on the planet, air stays in the planet without a vacuum. And the stars somehow line up the same every year. And, around Polaris every single night, they spin around us like the hands of a clock perfectly. And you can see sort of like the Little Dipper form almost like a swastika shape above us through the seasons, if you check the 4 different seasons. And yet they tell us that this is what we're experiencing, which, the stars would be moving before our very eyes in a constant spirally circle of doom if this were the case. But we see that they are stationary, except that they do slightly move around us very, very, very slowly, like a celestial clock, which is exactly what they are. How much time do I have left?
You still have 45 seconds.
Perfect. One more ad to go through here.
All right, we'll pause the time. Let you go through the ad.
Thank
All right,
you.
go for it.
This is an example of, from the perspective, and I don't know exactly which country this is, but pretty close to the North Pole or the center of our world. You can see the sun from that perspective, very close to ground level there, going as you would expect on a flat Earth model. And I cannot explain the math curve to you here, the lack of math curve to you, but you can see exactly what you would expect due to perspective. And there is something that has to be understood about perspective, and I'll share a different screen real fast about that. And it kind of addresses some of the stuff that you were, I can't even find it that fast, apparently.
Yeah, we are out of time, unfortunately, so we might have to get to that on our second round. But for now, we're going to move into the bread and butter. So we'll take down the screen share for now, and we'll move into that next. So for now, let's move into the bread and butter. As I said, we're going to go into our open discussion. And once again, we are going to do Q&A at the end of this discussion. So if you have a question for one of our speakers, get it into the live chat for a super chat, and it will make sure that that gets read to our speakers. So 10 minutes open discussion, and let's do this. Let's hit it up, gentlemen.
To clarify, Ryan, this is 10 minutes open discussion on the topic that I introduced, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I do notice that Dustin did not one time address the specific topic that I introduced. Instead, he went off into a shotgun of different topics. Is there a reason why you're scared to address the topic I brought up, Dustin?
I don't find your math compelling, as I said.
Did you find any errors in my math?
The globe Earth math. Well,
sorry, this was flat Earth math.
The real world testing. If we were on a globe, your math would be perfect.
Dustin,
but
this
was
flat
Earth.
Test. This was flat Earth math. I tested the flat Earth, so I agree.
Which stands up.
The math did not work for flat Earth. The flat Earth.
No, the math does not work for globe.
The flat Earth prediction for the dip of the horizon from the actual measurement that I provided was 0.0417. But the actual real world measurement was 3.3 degrees. So why is it that the flat Earth prediction failed?
Well, we don't have a perfect model, just like you guys don't have a perfect model. Ours just works far better.
Yours
concords with
yours worked far worse. Testing. Your prediction was
our model is far better.
0.0417 is the flat Earth model prediction, and the globe prediction is 3.3 degrees, and the measured quantity was 3.3 degrees. In fact, the globe matched to 2 degrees of precision, and flat Earth didn't match even remotely. So your model completely failed.
Your model is less accurate than ours, although neither are perfect.
But
neither of us show a perfect geography yet.
Well then I can tell you, Dustin, that the globe prediction was 3.3 degrees dip, and the real world observation was 3.3 degrees dip. So could you please explain to me how that didn't match the globe?
I don't know the exact math on the predictions here between those particular. I mean, this particular topic, and I'm weak on the math. I won't lie. Jaron
Well,
isn't stronger. Others are stronger.
every flat earther is weak on the math.
However, I will break down the math for you. If person B walks away from person A,
this is a
on
different
your
topic. Are you scared to
this
stay
is
on
flat.
topic? Why are you avoiding
I'm addressing
the topic?
your topic?
No, you're not you're not touching the topic at
Curvature
all,
math
Dustin.
right here at the top.
You are running
Giant
away from the
curvature math.
topic. This is not
Right.
the
That giant
topic that I
curvature math at the
introduced.
top.
Just one second there, fellas. So
Right
what I
here.
will ask is that
Giant.
we don't do any screen shares right now, just for we got 7 minutes of open discussion, then we can go back into presenting new lines of evidence, new
Okay.
arguments, or but right now we're going to try to keep it on screen. So if we could go back
6
here.
foot person.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's a different
yeah,
topic,
6 foot,
Dustin.
6 foot person
Dustin,
walking away.
I
3
measured the
miles.
dip of the
Stop
horizon.
interrupting, Mike.
Let's-
You're not going to win
let's-
by interrupting.
This is
friend.
the
Let's let
wrong
him
topic,
respond.
Dustin. Are you scared of the topic?
I reclaim my time. I'm addressing your flat Earth versus globe
We'll
Earth. math
definitely
arguments
address
right
the
now.
math that I presented. Go ahead.
I don't need to address your failed arguments.
My
I mean, you
argument
have a
completely
bunch of
succeeded
math
for the globe.
models, but
All right,
as
let's
we
let them
see, the
explain them,
math
see.
breaks down at 3 miles
Sh-
every time.
Different topic, Dustin. Could you
Same
stay on
math.
topic?
Same math.
It's
It's
a
your
different-
math. It breaks down at 3
It's
miles.
not.
Any
I
6
didn't
person can
present
test
any
this.
globe math. I only presented flat Earth math that you're scared to touch.
But you say yours is more accurate than ours, and I'm
It
saying
is.
neither of us have an
The
accurate
globe
model. That's why
predicted
the math is off.
3.3 degrees dip, and the dip was 3.3 degrees.
I
It
humbly
completely
admit that we
meshed.
do not have an accurate model yet, but it's
That's
closer
a
than yours.
failure. No,
You
it's not closer than
refuse to
yours.
admit- you
Mine
refuse
was
to
spot
admit that your
on.
math breaks down at
Yours
3 miles.
didn't touch it at all. Yours was significantly far away.
3 miles. Anyone can test
Different
this, Mike.
topic,
Anyone can
Dustin.
test this.
Different
3
topic.
miles, the math
Why
breaks
can't you
down.
stay on topic, Dustin? Are you scared
I
to
did.
address
It's
the topic?
curve math versus
You are
flat
not.
math.
You are not addressing the topic.
Is he going to interrupt me the whole
dip.
time? Is this
The
like-
horizon
Alright,
dip
let's
is
just-
the
alright,
topic.
let's run it
Guys,
out.
All
Let's
right,
run it out here. I can do this. Go
let's
ahead.
just admit we are just going in a circle here and kind of doing a yes no back and
Ryan,
forth
as the
here.
moderator, you are to keep it on topic.
Okay.
So I
That's
will
math.
just to reinforce that modern day debate. We are hosts, and if you find in the audience that or if you're watching elsewhere that the interlocutor that is on screen is not providing you with the substance you're looking for, we as hosts at Modern Day Debate don't enforce that they answer it the way you would like to. We'd like to let the audience decide
Right.
for
Run away,
themselves
Dustin.
whether
Run away.
that's
Run away.
compelling or not. So you still got 6 minutes here, gents.
Yeah, the
All right.
math breaks down at 3 miles, and I
Wrong
don't
math.
have an easy answer for you off the top of my head because
Wrong
I
math.
haven't done your studies there.
The dip of the horizon is the test here. You're talking about
No,
something
that's
else.
your.
You're
That's
talking
your.
about bottom-up obstruction, a totally different topic.
We're talking about
Maybe
math.
during your time you want to bring up a different topic.
All right. Well,
Maybe
I don't have
you
an
want to
answer for
bring
you
up
off the
the
top of my
bottom-up
head.
obstruction. Okay, so that's fine. Just admit then that the globe prediction of 3.3 degrees and the observation of 3.3 degrees matches for the dip of the horizon, and the flat Earth prediction of 0.0417 degrees and the observed dip of 3.3 degrees does not match.
I have
falsifying
no
flat
comment
Earth.
on this because I haven't studied this particular study at all.
Did
and I
you
have-
agree to this debate?
Yeah, and I have plenty of evidence.
Why
that
are
your
you
math
running
breaks
away
down at
from
3
the
miles.
topic then? It's not.
I'm not. You're just trying to
changing the
like
topic.
speak over me.
You're changing the topic. You can't touch the
Curve
topic.
math to curve
Got it.
math.
No,
But well,
Flat
here's the
math.
thing.
I
You want to say
presented
that
flat
your
math.
model is better than mine. I'm saying neither are perfect, and you're trying to like avoid this topic.
mine
In
was
fact,
perfect.
You're trying to avoid that I said that neither work.
Dustin,
but ours
mine
is
was
better,
perfect.
and you're
Mine
saying,
worked.
well, yours doesn't work, so you're wrong.
Mine
And I'm not-
100% worked, and yours was
Right.
terribly off.
Yours doesn't work at all. 100%. 6
3
foot
points-
person disappears 3 miles. Gone.
3.3 degrees
Big mountains show
of
up.
dip. 3.3 degrees of angular dip in an airplane at 11,000 meters, and
Your dip was flat.
Flat Earth predicted 0.0417.
All of your dip
It
pictures
didn't
were
work.
flat, Mike.
All right, I
Yeah.
think we have been spiraling
sweet
here,
topic
and
change. Got it.
I think
Flat
what we
dip
should do.
pictures. Your dip is
I
flat.
think what we should do, since it does seem like we're going back and forth here, we're not really. Yeah, we're just getting little sound bites back and forth between the two of you. I think we should move back into our 5-minute back and forths like we
Alright.
were. That was the plan, anyways. So we're gonna wrap up our open discussion for now. We'll try to do this again once we get a little bit more on the table here. So we're gonna hand it over to you, Dustin. You have 5 minutes, and the floor is yours.
Okay. What I was saying about perspective earlier, just so you guys can see that real briefly, things do sort of bend, and that's why stars have weird, wonky celestial star trails and such. It's not a perfect circle sometimes from the visual eye. There's something called an azimuthal visual equidistant, basically a bubble that limits your visual range to the local stars around you. That's why people in the center can't necessarily see the stars at the edge, or northern can't see the southern, as they say. Anyway, I will switch my sharing back over here briefly. You can see this, for example, right here with the Big Dipper stars. You can see that although they go in a counterclockwise trail, it's showing you clockwise. That's a little confusing. Basically, you see right there, it kind of looks like a swastika when they've got those arrows, but it circles us like the hands of a clock. And in terms of, let's see, local sun video, I want to show you guys this one too briefly after the ads. And man, they make them really catchy too, don't they? This is a sun video with the clouds above the sun, behind the sun, illuminated by a local, close, smaller sun. And there's a lot of these videos, and you're going to have to look at a whole lot of NASA math in order to make that flatness go away. I also want to, briefly talk about things like vacuum, space is fake. They have no actual photos of globe Earth. I mean, they're all fake CGI art. None of them match each other. So if we're going to look at the, who's accurate model, and, none of the maps that you present are accurate, and none of the maps that we present are accurate, although ours are very close, especially the older that you get, ironically. There are some that are actually quite close and perhaps accurate, although we haven't been able to test that 100% because there are places we're not allowed to go in this world now, strangely, like Antarctica. Anyway, there's all sorts of visual evidence that you can test. Lunar eclipses, for example, destroy the concept that we are on at least it destroys the globe model concept. If you actually do the math for gravity, as I understand it, that breaks down, and then you end up with things like dark matter and anti-gravity and all these other sorts of like new age nonsense that came with these false scientists, more like scientists or seancists or pagan priests of the old world order, because all these guys were also into the occult. I mean, Newton, for example, wrote thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pages on alchemy and pulled gravity right out of the emerald tablets of Thoth or Hermes. I mean, that was stolen. He didn't even really come up with it. There's a lot of little things. I wanted to focus on visual stuff so that you guys could kind of see this stuff for yourself. I don't usually do that. I usually just sort of go through the infographic with you guys, but I think I've shared this one enough. And I'm going to share my main sort of debate image. And I'm not an artist. I'm sorry. Going through curve math, like I said, if you go with 2 6-foot people and you walk 3 miles away, you have lost 90% or more of that person. Although that doesn't actually happen. Like I said, the boats come back. If you zoom in, here's Mount Canigou, 175 miles over the so-called curve. You can see the silhouette of the sun behind the mountain. Here is the Alps from the UK. You can see the multiple points from 600 to 700 plus miles away, 729 miles there at the Meiji point. That's way over the freaking curve. Just by the way, for your math, even if I'm not great at it, math not my strong point. There's absolutely no evidence of any sort of movement whatsoever. Coriolis effect breaks down, waterfalls aren't curving, etc. I've been up in a lot of hot air balloons in my life. They didn't float away on their own. That took the wind. The world wasn't spinning beneath us, though. We didn't end up in Japan or anything after we were up there for a few hours. The Earth being a ball is debunked in all sorts of ways. Lasers, how they use weapons, lighthouses, as I mentioned earlier, Chicago across Lake Michigan, the Bible, the triple wobble that they tell us that we have, the precession axial wobble, the nutation wobble, and the Chandler wobble. So apparently we're wobbling in 3 different ways all at once, which is not even possible. Doesn't even make sense. The stars absolutely prove it for us. The sun, all the luminaries are absolute evidence for a flat Earth. I mean, they're all close and local like street lamps.
That's time. All right, we'll end the screen share there. So thank you so much for your presentation there, Dustin. We'll hand it over to MC Toon. You got 5 minutes on the floor to respond to what you just heard.
All right. Well, that was to be a single topic, and all he did was shotgun without evidence. So I will share this screen here. Are you getting that?
Yeah, I got you.
Dustin? All right. So there is there is from Antarctica, the sun going the other direction, which is impossible on Pizza Planet there. Anyway, he said, I'll go through some of the claims without evidence. He talked about the azimuthal grid of vision. There is no supporting evidence for that. The amount of light bending that would have to happen is unexplained for. The close sun inside the clouds are no more than 11 miles high. And if the sun was no more than 11 miles high, then over the Tropic of Capricorn in December, then somebody in Minnesota, the sun could be no more than half a degree, quarter of a degree in elevation. Yet I've measured it myself. It's 20 some degrees high. So it's definitely doesn't match that. He said that the globe maps are not accurate. I just want to see some examples of that again. Claims without evidence. He has no evidence for it. He just spouts out this shotgun of stuff, even though it was supposed to be one topic. He did agree to this. I don't know. Anyway, he didn't seem to read the actual format here. He said the math for gravity. I would love to see you go through the math for gravity, Dustin. Then you said that boats come back when you zoom in on them. I have never seen that ever happen. I ask flat earthers in debates all the time if they can show that video, that mysterious one video that they all seem to think exists, where boats are partially obstructed. That's our claim. Boats are partially obstructed by the curve and then brought back with zoom. It never happens. Nobody can ever bring that video up. Canigoo, if you did the math for Canigoo, you will find that it actually completely is predicted by the globe. But do go ahead and show the math that you did for Canigoo, the globe-based math for Canigoo. I'd love to see it. Again, I want to remind everybody that in my introduction, I said flat earthers' most common argument is to say the globe predicts and then something the globe does not predict, followed by a saying this observation does not match the not globe prediction. Therefore flat, the false dichotomy and the straw man put together. So anyway, show me the math for Canigoo. I'd love to see that. The Alps from the mountain in Wales, those are clouds. The angular size between the individual claimed mountaintops are dramatically wrong from the actual angular size necessary for that distance. Nobody did any, no flat earther has ever done any critical analysis on that. They are easily indoctrinated because they take it without critical examination. Hot air balloons should not be going flying away because of Coriolis. That's not Coriolis. That's a lack of the understanding of the conservation of momentum. But do go ahead and show the application of Coriolis to hot air balloons. I can go through the math. I have done the math on Coriolis for hot air balloons and airplanes myself. So I'm ready to discuss that topic. And then this wobble thing. It's like flat earthers never did even introductory math where you sum vectors. You can sum rotational movements as well. So all of there's no limit to the number of potential wobbles that could simultaneously happen. In fact, if you've ever spun a top, you can identify that there are more than one wobble happening simultaneously. So anyway, it did not surprise me that he did not stick to the agreed format. And it does not surprise me that he just did a shotgun with no evidence. But anyway, go pick some of them and let's go into detail on the math, especially. I'd love to see the math that you think you have that is wrong. I'd love to see the application of math and without it being a straw man. There you go. Thank you for that, Ryan.
No problem. Well, thank you, MC Toon, and thank you, Dustin, for your second presentations of evidence there. So we're going to go into another open discussion here, up to 10 minutes, and I will just ask our speakers just to try to create a space for the other to respond if you have questions for one another. So go ahead there, Dustin, to respond to some of what you just heard.
He wanted me to show it, so can I show it to him?
Yeah, actually, sure. Let's do it. We won't choke this
fuzzy.
up.
Here's the Mount Canigoo math. I don't understand it, but you can verify it or debunk it for me, and I'll be happy to take it off of my website if it's wrong.
Yeah, take it off your website.
Jeranism is much stronger when it comes to math than I am. I'm the biblical Earth guy, not the flat Earth math guy. However, the Ireland to Alps thing, obviously, you didn't address that. That's not clouds. That's
I did.
actually way over the curve.
I completely.
And there's a lot
did.
of other examples
It's
like
clouds.
that. It's not clouds. And also, you ignore the fact that my visual evidences were evidence. They were not just me shotgunning things. That was me covering things very quickly in no particular order. But in fact, the evidence is included in what I was showing you for the most part. And this, you can test the math here against globe Earth math. This is a Rob Skiba testing the globe image here, this under the curvature math part. So, there's a lot to this in terms of
incorrect as well.
Okay, now it's all incorrect. You've debunked it in no time, and I just shared it.
Yeah, it is incorrect. Well, that's the same.
That's the globe Earth
same
argument.
nonsense math
and say it's wrong.
Flat Earthers think. See, I can address the math. I can do the math myself. I presented math for Flat Earth, and you're like, you don't know. I get that you don't know. You can't do math. I know you can't do math. I can do math. You presented math claiming to be globe math, but it's incorrect. That's the official
globe Earth math.
No, where's the official globe Earth math? Where is that documented? The official.
Okay, so using government's own numbers, NASA's own numbers, and sometimes they don't even agree because it doesn't make sense.
It's official. I want to see the official. Who is the official globe Earth math keeper? Who keeps?
I guess NASA would be probably. No. I'm sure the UN has their own opinion on things.
No, well, you don't know who the official is. You said it was official. But you don't know the official keeper.
They all have their own official things.
Oh, it's all different.
The same symbols,
okay,
though.
So you don't have any official. So let me make it clear that math, you took it away. That math is from Rob Skiba, who also could not do math, did not take into account the observer height, neither did it take into account refraction, things that the globe does have. And
it's called the Pythagorean proof of curvature.
It's the what?
Pythagorean proof of curvature.
Say that one more time.
Pythagorean proof of curvature. Don't make me say it 3 times fast.
Okay.
All right. You have a problem with that one?
Yeah. Oh, no, you nailed it.
All right. So?
No, you did not. It does not include the observer height.
Okay. So
and it does not include effects of refraction, both things that the globe claims. So you've strawmanned the globe.
Right. Now you're saying that the math is right, but it's just wrong because
I said the math is wrong.
Well, it's not.
Did not
it is wrong. It doesn't work.
Things.
This is the curvature math. It doesn't work.
It did not account for the actual globe. You strawmanned the globe. Now you don't understand the math, so you're just quoting something.
1 second, Dustin.
You're just quoting something with uncritical acceptance from somebody else. That's indoctrination. You've been indoctrinated.
I have plenty of evidence that I understand, and I don't always understand the math. However, I accept and I will take this down if you can debunk it. Like I said, Jeranism, Rob Skiba, these guys are stronger than me.
I did debunk it. You did not include the observer height.
Boats don't come back over. I mean, they do come back over the curve, but what you're talking about is called waves. There is not a partial obscuring. That's just waves. You can see it in this image right here. Bottoms don't actually disappear. So, I mean, you're just like ignoring
show me the video
evidences.
of a boat being partially obstructed and then zoomed in and no longer being obstructed. Go ahead. You said it exists.
Almost all of these videos are at thesarapayam.com/FAQ.
Play it right now. The video of the boat that's partially obstructed and then
you can see it right
brings
here.
it back.
You're saying this is fake?
That's a still. I need to see
the
the
video.
video.
It's still real. It's an image. It's an evidence. You know what an evidence is?
I want to see it unzoomed and then zoomed and the bottom of the boat brought back.
Here's the boat.
You need
here's the
two
boat.
of them. Yeah, you need 2 pictures at least.
Here's the boot.
You need the unzoomed version and the zoomed
Well, no,
version.
I just need to show you the wave of partially obscuring part of the boat and not the other part of the boat, and you're debunked.
No,
Next.
that's not our claim. Our claim is
It
that
is. You said partial obscuring, right? Was that not your words?
yes, partially obstructed.
Okay.
So, for
Partially
example,
obstructed.
just the very top, everything above the hull is the only part that's visible. So, for example,
that was a partially obstructed.
Yeah. You do,
with partially partially
yeah.
obstructed.
No amount of zoom is ever unobstructed anything ever.
Well, there's always a little bit of wave.
And no flat earther has ever shown zoom bringing.
So you asked for the math. I showed it to you. You asked for the zooming of the boat.
Math was
I showed
wrong.
you the image.
Yeah, I showed you that the math is wrong. I told you that.
I showed you the official Pythagorean proof of curvature, which fails at 3 miles. You don't like that math. You don't accept that math. Refraction gets rid of that.
The official.
What do you want, man?
I want you, if you're going to talk about math, to do it right and to actually know the topic.
I don't need to. I want you to debunk these things which stand because the arguments stand.
I already did. You did not use the globe. You can't. I don't need to.
Yes, I did. I used their Pythagorean proof of curvature math.
No, you didn't. You did not include the observer height, and you did not include the effects of refraction. So you straw-manned the globe. Like
Okay,
I said
so
in my
first of all-
introduction that you would strawman
No,
the globe, and you did.
Most of these videos that do these experiments do include observer height, actually.
And refraction.
And refraction is not what you seem to make it out to be. You cannot bend light. You cannot bend over the curve. That does not
Light
work.
does not bend
ever.
now?
You can't
Did you
bend
just
over a curve and bring the boat back.
Did you just declare that Snell's law does not exist? Oh dear.
I just declared you can't bend around
My
the
glasses
curve.
are still working.
For example,
Dustin, my glasses still work. Snell's law still works.
That wasn't a super mirage that we saw with Chicago over the Lake
I didn't claim it
shoreline.
was.
That's not light bending and showing us a perfectly accurate
All
silhouette
right,
of the
excellent.
city.
Well, show me the physics that it's not possible.
I don't know the
You made the
physics off the
claim.
top of my head, but
You made the
it's
claim.
not. Show me that it is. I don't think light can bend.
That's a
whole visual
standard
imagery like that.
reversal of burden of proof. You're the one that made the claim.
No, the burden
Can
of proof is
can
on you guys. Up until 500 years
That's
ago,
an
no one believed
excellent
in your
reversal of the
nonsense
burden
heliocentric
of proof.
global
reversal.
globalism nonsense.
500 years
So,
ago too. Another
You guys still
lie
have
from
not
you.
proven gravity or space or globe Earth.
Okay,
You
nice
can't prove
topic
any of
change
that.
there when you got it.
You burden of proof. It's on
Yeah.
you, not me. It's not topic
It's on
change. You brought it up.
made the claim that it's not possible for that to happen. So show the
And it's
physics.
not.
Show the physics of it. Your claim, not mine. You have the burden.
I'll look for it in the background here. But in terms of like you proving it, you have not yet met the burden of
You're
proof.
changing
And
the
I will
topic
also-
when you're cornered, obviously.
No, you haven't met you brought up the burden of proof, and I didn't change the topic.
The
You
burden of
brought that
proof.
up.
You made the claim about the physics being impossible. You have the burden of proof on that. Go ahead.
I will also use this ice rink experiment. I know you hate
3 minutes
Right.
left.
here, which is frozen water, perfectly level, by the way. A ruler moving across. I know you hate this one, right?
I love
But
it.
I actually added the counters for your nonsense.
I
on
love it.
Right. So ruler moves with perfectly level laser here, by the way. I don't know if you guys can see this.
What's the
You can
margin of
spin it
error of that
across the
perfectly
laser.
level laser?
I mean, it's close enough for the naked eye and this sort of mathematics. It's not perfect, but it's a good home experiment that works over a flat level surface, and it is and something anyone
my
can
gosh.
repeat and test. So you can try to win this with just math that doesn't hold up to actual real world observation, but I'm going to keep showing people
Yeah.
evidence
All
that
right,
they
you
can
got-
test at home.
All right. So
We're
what
going to
does
see who
the
wins.
what does the globe predict as the curvature across that ice rink that you're testing? Right. You have to do a falsification test. That's how you do science. So what is the globe?
We're testing
prediction?
for curve. There is
what-
no curve.
Yeah, exactly. What is the globe prediction for the amount of curve across that ice rink? How much? What's the globe's
here.
prediction? How much?
Pythagorean theorem
Yeah,
right
the
here.
Pythagorean. And how much? Show me the application.
And
of
here
it.
you go. Let's
What-
see.
what's
It's
the
way less than
application
1
of it?
mile. It's way less than 1 mile.
Yep. It's
So help me with the math expert. Show me. How much can you
you're
expect
the
to
one.
get off
You're
of
the
like
one making
a
this
block
as
or so?
taking
Well,
this
show me
as
curve. I
a-
don't see any curve there. You're trying to tell me that there's curve, and because I can't see your curve, I'm crazy. I don't see your curve. It's
Oh
not
my
there.
gosh.
to see,
Oh my
friend.
gosh!
Prove that we have curve on the
All
level
right.
frozen
All right.
ice,
Well,
laser like.
I,
You can laugh at it, but we're
All right,
anyone
it is-
can test this.
the length of an NHL ice rink, the official length, 60.96 meters long. So across the entire length of it, which is not that test, but let's grant that for a second. The entire length of that, the amount of curve, which is the bulge in the middle in this one, for example, is 0.0729 millimeters. That's the predicted globe curve. So how did you test whether or not there's a 0.07 millimeter curve?
Should we do it with better lasers? Maybe. But is it a good example of
No, it's a terrible
frozen
example
level ice?
because
Yes.
the ruler is only it's so dumb. There's only markings every millimeter. You can't even measure more finely than half a millimeter, and you're talking about a curve that you're trying to test, imagining that you're testing of 0.07 millimeters. Oh my goodness. You suck at science,
Oh my
man.
goodness.
You
Hey,
suck.
math is not my strong point. I know
I know. Then why would you bring up something that
But you
requires
still
math?
can't debunk any of the things that I brought up, which
I
were
just
math related.
did.
And
I
I understand
did
the
every
arguments
one of
enough that
them.
you can't. No, you didn't. You said clouds. That's not clouds.
It
they
is
don't move.
the angular
First of all, they
size
don't
of
move.
those clouds. Are...
You can go there and you can like do that video anytime. Those points don't move. They're not clouds.
What points? There's only one photo of it ever.
The points
All
that
right,
you,
that's time,
the points that
gents.
you say are clouds are not clouds is obvious. the way that they're shaped and sticking up from the bottom, the horizon, which is flat, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But you can anyone can test this. Anyone
Sweet.
can
All
test
right.
the cold light of
All
the
right.
moon. It's
Good
translucent and puts
job,
off cold
Dustin.
light.
Good job.
It's
Anyone
time
can
that we
test
move on.
lunar
but,
eclipses. Anyone can test the
let's
math
wrap
that I just said. Look, I don't fully understand it, but debunk it and I'll take it down. You
I
haven't.
did. I already did.
All right.
You didn't.
We're going to
You just
move
said-
on, guys.
You just said to the Canagoo math, you just said no. You
All
didn't
right.
even have the time
Yeah,
to do the
sorry,
math.
do the
Dustin.
math.
All right, Dustin, we're going to move on. We have
Liar.
like I said, we had an agreed upon format. I know it's a little different, but we're going to try to stick to it to see how well it works. And, if you like it, let us know in the live chat too. We're going to move into a 5-minute presentation of evidence. We got 5 minutes on the floor for you, Mike, next. So take it away.
All right. Now, Dustin, notice I'm sharing my screen. Notice I'm presenting on one topic and I have evidence supporting my claim. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. You're up now.
Got it? All right.
Yep.
Let me switch it here. Okay. So the eclipse is coming up next Monday. The solar eclipse going across the United States. I will be in Texas to watch it. So the time, location, duration, path of totality, amount of totality, and amount of coverage for eclipses are precisely predicting using the globe and position of the Earth, Moon, and Sun in the solar system. None of this is based on flat Earth. None of it. Here's some historical predictions done by Edmund Halley in 1715 using the globe. Here's some more that came after he did that, all using the globe. And now we have, these are Fred Espenack, who has published this. He has all these things these published that people can buy their own books. I have it myself. The first one there on the left, I own that book. And these eclipses are published, predicted using VSOP 87 and ELP 2000, things that are not from the US government, by the way. They both are in French. They're used to predict all of the features of the eclipse. Specifically, here's VSOP 87. Here's the data. It is an ephemeris that tracks the positions of the planets Mercury through Neptune in the solar system, as well as the Earth-Moon barycenter in the solar system. So this documents the positions through time of all of these different bodies in the solar system in 3 dimensions. And then that's the raw data. This is an example of a Fortran program that comes with the data package that analyzes the data and outputs different things based on what you're interested in determining for the time, the date and things. But VSOP 87 covers thousands of years. Then the ELP 2000 ephemeris details the positions of the moon in relation to the Earth, including a whole bunch of things like tidal forces, things like that. If you look at table 1 there, it includes the masses of the Earth, Moon, and Sun and the relationships between the masses in sigma 1, sigma 2. And the distance to the moon is used in the bottom right, 384,000 kilometers. So this particular ephemeris outputs the distance between the Earth and the moon as one of the things, which is an absolute necessity to figure out the amount of totality of the eclipse. Again, something that no flat earther can even begin to do to tell how far away the moon is from the surface of flat Earth and how far away the sun is from the surface of flat Earth. No flat earther has ever done this. No flat earther can even begin to predict an eclipse. Anyway, those 2 ephemerides are used to then output this table here. On the left is the full screenshot, and on the right is a little more zoomed in version of it. But this is for the eclipse coming up in April 8th. That is the different locations of the point of totality and other details so that people can put them on a map, which is exactly what people have done. So here is the eclipse, that data structure, that data set output to this shows exactly where the eclipse is going to be. And with over $1 billion being spent by people going to see the eclipse, they better be right. They better be right on it. But you know what's really cool is that this completely matches your type 1 evidence. The data there is produced by individuals, private individuals, and can be predicted, can be used by private individuals. If you think, flat earthers, if you think it's wrong, it's on you to show where it's wrong, and even more so on you to show how flat Earth predicts solar eclipses. Good luck with that. I have a feeling you won't. All right, now do try to keep it on topic there, Dustin.
That was good CPI and math. Now let's go to some real stuff.
5 minutes on the floor, Dustin.
Change the topic. Here we go.
First of all, eclipses and mirages. The Selenelian total lunar eclipse and, for example, the Chicago skyline mirage are two well-known phenomena that flat earthers, biblical earthers in my case, claim as definitive proof that the flat earth model is the true and correct representation of our world. A Selenelian total lunar eclipse occurs when both the sun and moon are simultaneously observed above the horizon, an impossibility if the earth needs to be between the two to cause the eclipse. When the weather and conditions are favorable, the Chicago skyline has often been observed from the Michigan shoreline 60 miles away. Again, an impossibility within a globe Earth model. Also, the ancients had probably better astronomical accuracy and understanding than we did. Examples like the Antikythera mechanism, and the Hebrews were very accurate. The ancient Mayans were very accurate. They predicted the stars and the alignments and the eclipses and all of that way better than we can today. And they didn't have to deal with all that like nonsense, change the calendar and deceive people, like daylight savings, all that stuff, which we have to deal with today after they rigged the calendars against the Christian Hebrew faith when Rome added days and merged Christianity with paganism, and giving us the Gregorian calendar. Anyway, that's just addressing some of the stuff you're talking about. But you know, the sun is obviously close to us, much smaller than we've been told. We don't know exactly how far away it is, but it's not 93,000 miles away, or sorry, 93 million miles away that they tell us. We can tell that simply by looking at the crepuscular rays that we see, which are in front of you here. You can see how the beams sort of come out at a central point and go out at different angles. This also happens with moonlight, by the way. You can also see the little bit of a wobbly pattern in the stars, which show that they realign in the same position at the same day of each year, every day, perfectly, which would not be possible if we were shotgun blasting through space. Again, the moon itself is transparent. Sorry, I don't need a lot of time to address all the stuff that you're talking about.
You're off topic
pretty quickly. Well, I addressed those, and now my turn.
You read
my turn.
Yep.
So
run from
my
the
turn.
topic.
Yourself. Anyway, you were saying that your model is more accurate. It's not. You can't show me in fact, any different globes that agree with one another, much less are accurate. But they give us a different version. So even if I wanted to believe you, I wouldn't know which version to go with. But NASA is completely beyond trust, and their credibility is brokered than the Ten Commandments. You've got all sorts of weird examples like photos from Earth being represented as photos from other planets. And you have their symbols, which is pretty much all the space agencies of all the world, strangely enough, have a serpent's forked tongue speaking through a flat disc as their symbol. That should tell those who are hip to the deep state and how it really works a lot. They keep dropping the ball, so to speak. Here's an example of them literally dropping the ball while in space and panicking over it, but then regaining composure. There's a lot of that. At my Space is Fake article on the serapeum.com, you can see all the little green screen fails and near drowning incidents and bubbles and harnesses, etc. And where should we go from here? I don't really need a lot of time to show most of these because they're visual and people can understand them. So if I come to something that I need 5 minutes to break down for you, I will. How's that? In terms of just continuing with what we've got. Okay, there's the math again for Mount Canigou. Oops. By the way, the mountain should mostly be gone. And there it is, almost the entirety of it over such a curved distance that it should be, impossible. Vacuum is another one that they ignore because they can't demonstrate anywhere in the whole of creation where a vacuum will cling to a ball where gases will cling to a ball without some sort of a container or seal around them. It doesn't work. We can't be shotgun blasting through space without a bubble to protect us and all of our air from off into space. That doesn't happen. And anyone, or even any kitchen wife who's ever tried to, use an Instant Pot can tell you that. We use it all the time. My wife gets it. And she's one of those Asians, like not that good at math, in fact. But they told the radio guy first transmission across the Atlantic Ocean wouldn't work. And I can't even pronounce his first name, but Marconi did it anyway. And he disproved the
10 seconds.
birth. We have Eratosthenes debunked easily. He assumed a far away and big object, but if you do the same math for shorter, closer, it also works. So it's not really proof for either side.
That's time.
It's unconfirmed. Okay.
All right. Well, let's start with the whatever
Open
you
discussion.
called it.
10 seconds.
Whatever you
or 10 minutes. Sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
The math that you claimed was possible. Let's see the Eratosthenes math that works for flat Earth. Let's see it.
Wait, you want me to go on your turn?
No, this is our 10-minute open discussion on the topic that you avoided. So Eratosthenes math that works for flat Earth. Please show the flat Earth math that works for Eratosthenes. Go ahead.
Okay.
To you.
Can I share screen then?
Sure thing.
All right. I was worried. Here we go. Rob Skiba did this video. And he did a longer video, by the way, that really breaks this down. But basically, the conclusion is, as I said, if you take the presumptions of a far away and large celestial object away and use a closer, smaller light, a regional or local source, kind of like a lamppost, then you get the same sort of results with the shadows.
All right, I didn't see the math there. Could you show the math? Tell you what, I'll give you the math for a measurement on the
I got
December
it. If you want the longer form, I got you.
The December 21st solstice, where myself at 45 degrees north latitude, I measured the elevation of the sun to be 22.5 degrees. And my friend in Jerusalem area at 31.35 degrees north latitude, he measured the angle of elevation of the sun to be 36 degrees. So can we just plug that into the math that you did?
Let's see how it compares to this. I will share screen and let Rob Skiba's math speak for me.
Rob Skiba can't do math.
The shadow experiment is used as a proof that the Earth is a globe. But moonlight creates the exact same shadows as the sun, which completely disproves this experiment. But before going into more detail about this, I will briefly explain Eratosthenes' experiment for those who may not know about it or forgot what it was. Eratosthenes noticed
this isn't Skiba, it's someone else.
Shadows are of different lengths and angles, depending on where you are on Earth. He then wondered how this was possible, and ultimately deduced that this is only possible if the sun's light comes parallel to the Earth, and the Earth is a curved surface, as shown in the diagram. However, the sun's light can only be assumed to be parallel because the sun is claimed to be 109 times larger than the Earth. But this then creates a paradox, because the moon also casts the exact same shadows as the sun, and yet the moon is only supposed to be a quarter the size of the Earth. The problem is, if the moon's light is assumed to be parallel, then it would only illuminate a small portion of the Earth. But we know that this is false. Half of the Earth is supposed to be able to see the moon at any given time when the moon is illuminated.
Holy cow, this is terrible.
Half of the Earth
when does it get to the math for Eratosthenes?
By assuming parallel light from the moon, half of the Earth would not be illuminated by the moon.
This has nothing to do with it.
Not be parallel.
You can't even keep to the topic that you deflected.
It's about it. Why do you keep interrupting?
Because it's not about the Eratosthenes measurement.
It's literally about it.
It's literally not about it. This has nothing to do with Eratosthenes. All right, there we go. That looks like it.
It's about your presumptions.
Where's the
debunking
numbers?
your presumptions
Where's the
built into the
I want to see the math.
Eratosthenes.
I want to see the math.
Okay, quit interrupting. You're so rude. Do you not like the information?
Chop,
I
chop.
thought you're into like actual
Chop. Let's see the math.
And verifying and falsifying the hypotheses. We're doing that right now together.
But by assuming parallel light from the moon, half of the Earth would not be illuminated by the moon. So the moon's light cannot be parallel, but it has to be if the sun's light is supposed to be parallel, because they both.
The audio is very low.
The only way that the sun and the moon.
I'm sorry, what?
The audio is very low. If you could turn your video up. Oh, it's up all the way. Okay, we'll just do what we can with it. I'll turn us up on my end.
Lights act in the same way. And only the flat Earth model has both the sun and the moon illuminating the Earth in the same way. Both are radial lights that are smaller and closer to the Earth than in the globe model. So by also considering the light of the moon, only one model allows both the sun and the moon to cast the same shadows, the flat Earth model, while the globe model cannot account for this. Furthermore, it can be easily proven that
There
the
was
sun's
no
light,
math there.
by comparing how the sun looks to lights that are
He
known
lied
to
about
have
math.
Spotlights, although not perfectly parallel light, are sufficiently parallel, and we should all know what it looks like when a spotlight shines at us. But if not, here is footage to remind you. When the spotlight shines at you, you do not see a circle. Rather, your entire view is blinded by light. However, when the sun is shining on the Earth, we see the circle of the sun. But if the light were parallel, it should appear the same as a spotlight. But it does not, so the light cannot be parallel. Rather, the sun looks like any ordinary light.
All right. Well, no math was presented there. Thank you for
Just
failing on
debunked
that.
Eratosthenes' experiment.
You did not address any
that
math.
wasn't the video I
You
wanted.
said the math proves it, and the math works both ways. You didn't show any math at all.
The math actually only works our way.
You didn't show any math, though. You didn't show any. So how could
But
the
I
math...
debunked your math.
No, you didn't even touch my
Yes.
math. You didn't.
I debunked
touch
it.
No, you didn't touch the math. All you
Then
did was
explain
make
to me.
claims that it would
Explain
work,
then.
but you didn't
Explain it.
show
Then
the
explain it.
math. I don't
Then
need to
explain it.
explain it. You said the math would
No.
work for both.
All right,
You
we're
didn't
gonna
show
let
the math
MC
working for
Makes
both.
the same amount of
So
light.
let's
All right,
go
we'll just let
back.
you do the screen share, so we'll let him respond.
Let's
if
go
you don't
back
mind,
to the
Dustin.
topic that you're deathly scared of.
Eratosthenes was what you want to talk about. Let's do it.
It's Eratosthenes.
Eratosthenes,
There you
Eratosthenes,
go.
whatever.
Come on, chucklehead. Eratosthenes. I'm helping you.
Eratosthenes.
The topic
So then
of this
address it.
particular that you didn't. That was your claim that
didn't.
the
I'm waiting.
math works both ways, but you did not show the math. So thank you to the audience who can definitely see you did not provide
you
any of the
didn't.
math that you said would work for flat Earth. Anyway,
Then show us the math
the-
working with the moon and the sun being different. Your
the
way.
topic is, I'm happy to do that, but your claim, it's your claim, your burden of proof, not mine. You avoided it. I didn't avoid it. So the topic, though, that you are definitely scared to address is the prediction to the second of the eclipse that's happening in just a couple days using the globe, and the fact that no flat Earth geometry can even determine the amount of
We don't have
totality.
the $1 billion budget of NASA to hire an astronomer.
But
If we did, we would be better.
neither did Edmund Halley, who did the first prediction in 1715. He did it as a hobby.
They've
So
been
how
predicting
could-
eclipses
how
for
could-
thousands of years, friend.
No, they have not been.
Yes, they have.
They have
and
not been.
celestial alignments of the planets.
Awesome. Then show me an eclipse prediction before 1715 showing the path of totality and the time.
Look up the Mayan calendar.
The Mayan calendar does not include the path of totality. It's not even an eclipse thing. You're thinking sorrow cycles, but sorrow cycles only gives you the approximate
you
day.
get
It does not
accurate-
give the path of totality or the time.
You had
so
no
the path of
daylight savings
totality
time
has
inaccuracies
nothing to
in the
do
ancient
with
world.
has nothing to
You
do
have-
with that.
you
So
have
I'm
inaccuracies
asking
in the
you.
modern way.
I'm asking
Ancients
you.
were more
why
accurate.
is it that the globe can accurately predict to the second the time that the eclipse will be seen for anywhere, and there is nothing for flat Earth at all, not even remotely? All
Because
you
they're
can do
using our tax dollars to do it.
has
That's the short
nothing
answer.
to do
Now,
with
do you want
that
the
because Edmund
Eratosthenes
Halley.
math?
Edmund Halley did it himself without any tax dollars at all. He did it as a hobbyist. So
if you
how
say
did
so.
he do that?
I don't know his story. However, they were
How
doing it
did
more
he-
accurately in the ancient world.
Oh, excellent! Bring it up.
Also,
No.
Eratosthenes-
They did
Let's
it more
go.
accurately in the ancient world. Bring it up right now. That's your claim.
okay,
Or are
so
you
they
lying
didn't
about
need
that?
daylight savings time.
Are
and they had
you
perfect
lying about that,
prediction of the
Dustin? You little
planets.
liar, Dustin. Are you
I
lying
don't have
about?
it with me.
No,
at the
you don't
moment,
have
but
it at all,
anyone
Dustin.
can
I
confirm
know.
this.
I've
You're a
looked it
rude
up.
ass. I mean, why do you
Anyone
always
can
have to
confirm that
overtalk
you
and
just
interrupt people?
lied, Dustin.
I did
You
not.
just
The
everybody
ancients had
is
more
watching.
accurate
All right, we'll let
astronomical.
we're gonna let
Excellent. Let's
MC
see it.
wrap up and
Bring
then
it
we'll
up,
get
liar.
back to you.
Daylight savings
Bring
to
it
fix
up.
it. A couple
Bring it
years.
up, little
They
Satan
didn't need leap
liar.
years.
Come on, liar.
Either.
Bring it up. You made the
All
claim.
right.
Are you a pedophile?
Okay.
Really?
All right. We
Are
are.
you
All
going-
right, Ryan. Ryan.
We are. Yeah.
Ryan,
we're on
we're done.
mute. Sorry, Dustin.
done.
We can't be. Yeah, we can't be doing.
me a liar?
No. We're done.
Yeah,
Ryan,
that's
kick him
that's
off.
A little
Kick him off.
too
Ryan.
much, unfortunately,
off,
for.
What? You don't like lies about you?
Kick him off. Kick him off, Ryan.
You don't like
Well,
lies
yeah.
about you, Mike?
Ryan.
I handle the same.
I'm
heat.
not.
Well,
I am not joking
Maybe
with
if you don't like
Ryan.
the heat, stay out of the kitchen, Mike.
He
It
gets.
does sound
he's
like
done.
the best thing to
He
do
is
would
done.
be to.
So don't
He
call
is
people
done.
liars.
He
Go
is, you,
confirm it.
I
All right, so
definitely
just-
prove that you're a liar. I need
I did
Ryan.
not prove that I'm a liar.
Ryan.
Just 1 second. So I take it, given what's going on, what we just heard, there's no way we're going to be able to pull you back in to
Nope.
finish this discussion.
Dustin is gone.
He's scared and he wants out.
Dustin is gone.
Okay.
Ryan.
All
Hi, Mike.
So, what
Dustin
we'll have to
has to
do.
leave.
Don't
Yeah,
start
unfortunately, you have
Ryan.
broken the rules that we did put forward. So best thing to do. Oh, my video
Which
just
rule?
shut off.
Which rule did I break?
Yeah, we did ask before we did start the debate. Not. Yeah, there's
Which rule?
a couple things.
We all know what rule it was.
Specifically, beyond. No,
Dustin.
I didn't break any rules. Be specific, because you broke the same rule I did. Let's see it. You broke it
Okay.
first.
Hold
If
on.
there's a rule at all, which I don't remember any rule about not calling you a pedophile when
All right. All right. Ryan, I'm still in the call, but I until he's gone, I can't be in there, right? So
on this one, but despite all appearances, I do have some personal integrity, and I don't think that that's obviously conductive to having a discussion. I don't think some of the paths in which we were taking were going to be terribly conductive anyway. So the very best I can try to do for you guys, since I don't see this going on the up and up from here, would be to try to answer the questions that we can for you there, Mike, and then we will try to honor what we got here for our super chatters. I'm sorry, everybody, but yeah, there's a certain line, and if we're just going to sit here and discuss whether we can call other people obscenities on the internet, then then that's not what we signed up for here. So let's see if we can get some questions here for you, MC Tune, and then we'll shut her down. And if you think I made the wrong call, you are welcome to dispute that in the live chat. But
Brian,
let's
thank
see.
you for doing the right thing. Yeah,
And
it's obvious that he hit the wall and he couldn't handle it, and he was frustrated.
Well,
frustrated.
we won't
But
we won't go down the meta on this one.
Yep.
We'll try to interact with our audience.
Thank you. That's all. So.
Yeah, sure. And let's try to carry on. But yeah, like I said, sometimes I do feel like, it's tough to make a call. Maybe some people would have said, you should have made a call a little sooner, but I'm not known for being a reactionary. I sit here, I chew, and then I make a decision. So let's see here. We have Ed's puzzle said, God made a dope globe Earth with curvy water. I thought that would just be funny just because there's not much there. Bass guitar was a question for Dustin. Anybody who had a question for Dustin, if you want to email moderndaydebate@gmail.com, if you're upset that we weren't able to ask your question to the speaker, and we will get this all taken care of. So let's see. LJ asks, thanks for being here, LJ. I'm in Miami and can confirm seawater lays flat. Why are there zero non-CGI videos showing ocean at a certain distance curving? Share in the link if you disagree.
Well, I can certainly share the link. I can share my screen. I don't know if you want me to quickly here, but I have it ready. Want to see it?
Sure.
All right, here's a non-CGI picture of water curving. So this is from an airplane over the ocean south of Australia. Are you seeing that? I don't know if you're seeing it or not. Anyway,
yeah, we're up.
Yep. So that the curve there is easy to see. It's at 46,000 feet. And if you think it's lens distortion, here it is bottom of the screen, and here it is top of the screen. It's not lens distortion. If you think it's the cockpit has been verified to also not introduce curvature. I can show you that if you want. But feel free to comment on my video, and I'll link it to you if you want to see the testing of the cockpit, whether or not it's curved.
All right. Well, thank you there, and we'll carry on. Thank you, LJ, as well, for always being here for these discussions. We do appreciate you in the live chat. Thank you, Kango44, for your questions. Sorry, that's for Dustin, and also Bass Guitar. We're going to move through those questions. And as I said before, you can email moderndaydebate@gmail.com if you're not happy about it. But if not, we do appreciate the support, everybody, and we'll carry on. At what size does sea/ocean water start to curve?
It's always curved. Yeah, from everywhere, but of course waves and stuff are significantly larger than the curve. So at short distances, they're difficult to see, but over long distances you can, as the photo I just showed does.
Alrighty. LJ, this seems like he's doing a callback to last debate with Oz and Witsit, so I encourage you guys to check that one out if you haven't. LJ asks, Oz, drop the link for one non-CGI space footage video. So if you want to interact with that.
Yeah, Arizona State University has, it was unclear if he wanted video or photos, but photos are pretty nice. Arizona State University, if you just Google ASU to the moon, they have about 15,000 photographs scanned from photographic slides. And you can download the high-res TIFF file that's uncompressed and look for yourself to see that they're not CGI. Feel free to do a detailed forensic analysis on it.
Next one coming in from Marcus Wynn. Oh, sorry, that's a question for Dustin. Sorry about that. But yes, well, I will say sorry in my Canadian fashion to you, Marcus, that we don't have Dustin here. Unfortunately, things went a little south. Maybe a little pun from me. LJ asks, how can ships go 17,500 miles per hour safely with people inside?
You mean the ISS? Easily, because there's so little air up there that it's not a problem. There's no turbulence when there's essentially no air. So you get up past where there's air and you just accelerate really well till you're moving sideways at 17,000 miles an hour. That's how you do it.
All right. Well, let's see what else we got here. LJ asks, how would you change your mind to go to the other side? So what would it take for you to be convinced of the other? Well, the Earth is flat.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm happy to answer that. There are many falsification tests possible for the globe. Things that I have examined myself, the time of sunset based on globe geometry. If that was dramatically wrong, that'd be a thing. And if the flat Earth prediction for the sunset time existed, then I could test that as well. Same thing for the angle of the sunset or the elevation of the sun at any time of the day. I would be happy to look at measurements of flatness across the surface of water using good techniques where they included confounding variables, right? Control for confounding variables. Photograph of the flatness from a high elevation, maybe looking at the ice wall. From, I don't know, even Australia, no ice walls ever been shown. The photograph I put up earlier was not quite looking south. It was mostly looking west. So there wasn't any ice wall over to the left there or ahead of it. So a few of the things like that would be good. There's many falsifications I would be happy to entertain, but so far none have.
Okay. Let's carry on here. Aaron Reese, sorry about your question there. That was for Dustin. We have another one from Kango, upset that I wasn't able to make Dustin, he says, stick to the points. And I'm sorry, Kango 44, once again.
It's a white flag of defeat that he can't address the topic.
Well, I will just say to Kango once again, sorry. I see that you did ask quite a few questions, and I'm sorry that we weren't able to address them from the speaker that you were hoping to ask them to. Yeah, my apologies again, everybody, for like I said, I didn't see this being able to rise up out of the ashes from that point going forward. So thank you, MC Toon, for staying here to answer these last questions. Yodawat says, do you have a possible explanation as to why flat earthers think talking about the supposed results of math is an actual mathematical evidence?
That's always gets me, because I know that flat earthers generally don't do math. Dustin said multiple times that he can't do math. And then he boldly said that the math for the Eratosthenes experiment, I had to correct him on this pronunciation, worked for both flat and globe, but he never showed it. He's like, I'm going to show it. And then he did not show it. And he thought, and some sort of like weird, I don't know how, he thought he showed math. He's so unaware of math that when he doesn't show math, he thinks it's math. It's weird, this world they live in. I don't know, Yadawat. That's weird.
All right. Well, I will give you 1 minute there if you want to wrap up your thoughts. I'll just read one last super chat here from Matters Now, saying, after show on Matters Now, I am not MC Toon. I am not as good looking.
He's better. Ozian's better looking than me. What are you talking about?
Okay. Let's see here. Kango44 says, no worries, Ryan. You did a great job. Well, thank you, Kango. And I do appreciate you being here and, trying to keep everything engaged, after the discussion. We appreciate everybody who put into super chats. So we're going to call it off there. Like I said, sometimes things don't go quite to plan, but we do what we can do, and hopefully enjoy what we did get out of our discussion. Definitely check out the other debates here on Modern Day Debate, and hit that like and subscribe while you're at it. So I'll close it out with me screaming at you guys, because that's how I like to do it. Cheers.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. See you next time.
All right, everybody here. I'm not done here
There
yet.
we go.
We're going to do a little,
Alrighty. Yeah, that was like straw two. That was straw two. The comment about his wife was kind of like already sussy.
oh, I caught that, but I
I know you're
don't,
still streaming, so
yeah.
I mean I don't care. I get myself in trouble now. It's fine. We're off the air. Modern day debate. That was already sussy. But then when he came back, and for me, I'm like, okay, maybe I could just look at that as like poor taste humor from somebody who grew up like in the early 2000s and never got out of that mindset. I don't know. I've heard them
But it's
say
his
some.
wife.
I know,
It's
and
his wife.
I've heard some of these people use like
I
the
don't
term
get that.
gay as a pejorative and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I I'm not too enamored by that type of interaction. Though I mean of course, as soon as they feel like you've called them stupid or anything like that, anybody, I shouldn't say they as if they're like this monolith. But as soon as it usually opens up a floodgate for most people, right? To be like, oh, you said that, and now I have an excuse, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not blaming or anything like that. I certainly think that it should have been an equal fire met with fire, not these extremely inflammatory things. So, I know how you roll. I figured that out the first time when we didn't get streaming that
I
last
mean,
time, and I was like, okay,
there's
I
no
understand what
reason
you're
to
like.
do that. What? It's such a red flag that they have nothing when they go there, right? And
Yeah,
it
and
tells you a lot about their character.
well, and to me, yeah, I'm like, this just it does, like I said, it just brings me right back to high school vibes. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, we're name calling now. This is not good. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, the live chat's not too upset that we capped it the way we did. And there was a lot of people that telling me that I should have kicked you out. But I mean, I didn't hear you call anybody anything that would be, an offense.
Yeah,
No.
people were saying that that they didn't like that I said that he was lying, but he had just lied. I mean, I caught him lying red-handed right there. He said
Yeah.
ancients had better predictions than we do today, but he didn't have any. And I know there aren't any. He's just making that up. So
Yeah, that's a strange thing to me because it's like, of course, how could we not? Everything's getting
go
better.
go for something actual instead of just making up crap like that. Why?
I don't know. Like I said, I try
Don't get
to
it.
try to keep
Anyway.
myself as non-biased as I can. I do have friends, like I said, that are in both camps, of course. Try to get along with everybody. Because I mean, my mentality, I was very much like in that Dillahunty type atheistic mentality of like, oh, I'm going to be vigilant and I'm going to tackle everything head on. And then I guess it kind of occurred to me that I was like, okay, no matter what I do, there's going to be people out there that I disagree with, and I'm going to think that they're ridiculous. So rather than trying
Yep.
to eradicate the world of ridiculous thoughts and people, because that'll never happen, because most people just get their haunches up and they get defensive, they double down. Um, I was more like, okay, I want to learn how maybe we can diffuse these conversations, make it so that, if it is brought up at the kitchen table, it's not this big deal, this whole generation of, you don't talk about religion, politics, sex. I think it's stunted some growth in a lot of people to be able to actually navigate these conversations with some grace and decorum and not feel personally attacked. When it's not personal. It's like, you're not Christianity. So if I say something about Christianity, I'm not attacking you. But I see a lot of
Right?
times when
Yeah.
we're having these discussions that can be the reaction to certain speakers like Mark, where he can come off as pretty aggressive, but he is talking about the topic, right? But the speaker will take it as you're talking about me, the individual, and vice versa, right? Like I
Yeah.
see it on both sides. I'm just speaking from my experience, I guess, just because I remember having, I guess, more of an aggressive mentality, and now I've just kind of, it's very difficult. It's been a change to, like you say, try to take a back seat and not be super aggressive. But that definitely, moments like that almost make me leak the dad voice, and everybody's in bed, so I got to be good. But like I said,
The
I do
dad
have I do
voice.
have some integrity, and I'm so sorry, MC Toon, that like I said, if you feel like, oh my God, it took you more than a couple seconds to figure out what to do, because obviously that was the right answer at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously I had to sit there and kind of, chew for a bit and be like, okay, what do we do here?
I get it. I'm not saying that. And some people obviously are going to differ. Some people thought that the first one might have been enough. I wasn't of that opinion, but yeah, it takes some time. If you're going to take a dramatic change from the plan, you can't just knee jerk do it. You have to think about it. And I don't, you did the right thing there, and taking the time is necessary. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, and I think you did a good job. There was definitely a lot of interrupting during the discussion, but I understood what was happening,
Well,
and it's
I
fine.
had hoped that the topical version of it, that he obviously didn't understand, would keep it somehow flowing better. But even it, like, none of what he did was on topic.
Yeah, and like I said, for me, like I'm doing a job, and
so funny.
that's maybe the second thing. Maybe I want to apologize is that I know it might be frustrating being like Ryan, what do you? But a lot of what happened to modern day debate, like being a moderator, like I said, I think maybe it was last time with Wits It On, is that, and same thing I said today is like we're supposed to be hosts, we're supposed to just keep it from being like do things like if it gets vitriolic like that, try to wheel it in and see what we can salvage out of it, but. Overall, I have, of course, different opinions about how things should go down in these discussions. And I don't always think that it's, doing the right thing. But, it is the job. So I guess it's one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to get forgiveness for sitting here making a little bit of side cash, and maybe harming some of my own personal integrity. Most people would look at it and be like, ah, you're kind of crappy. But yeah, I got children to feed, so I got a job to do. And some people don't like the way we conduct it. So I am sorry, like I said, if you're in the similar category to people that find, we're not doing as much as maybe we should be, it's kind of like, people are falling on their own sword, that modern day debate. There's no hand holding, and I think that can be useful, but I don't know if it's really helping in what I said earlier, which is helping people to learn how to communicate with people they disagree with without it turning into this big, you've attacked me personally thing, right? Where it's like, can we separate the person from the idea just a little bit for the sake of discussion, And people are just so bad at it. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm ranting on.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ryan. I'm gonna switch over to my live stream here, and we'll catch you later. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, well, you enjoy yourself, and thanks for coming out, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right, bye. All right, everybody. Let's see here. So, wow. I knew he had that that Dustin had that, right? He's got a history with that one letter conspiracy, right? And the foundation of that one letter conspiracy theory is that there is that everybody that they don't like is one of those things. That's what kind of a sick person is that? That's how you think the world is, like, right? That's where they always go there. It's a mental illness with them. So I see Tim Pryor was saying something. That is out of ordinary for Tim Pryor. I don't know what you're talking about. If this is off topic, I don't know who. I only see that one comment. What was this here? Oh, look at that. Precious Pokemon Catcher says this is a satanic channel. Blood banks are made for vampires. Oh, again, it's the same stuff. It's people that have nothing. I don't know why he posts the same thing twice. So, all right, Tim, who are you talking about? Oh, okay. You're talking about politics. Don't do that. I don't do politics. I just, the audience is all over the place politically. Don't talk politics here. Go somewhere else if you want to talk politics. So yeah, don't do that, Tim. Okay. Anyway, I took away the mod status. Message me privately. Let's see. Let's talk about it or something. Okay. But anyway, I see that, it took a little bit of time for Ryan to think through that and to do what he did. And I appreciate that. I think he did the right thing. And I don't understand this. I do this for a reason. The reason why is to show that flat earthers are wrong, to show that their ideas are bad, to show that they can't handle the math, to show that none of science supports it, to show that all of their arguments about the globe are strawmans, and that I got 5. Then these 5, that they're horrible people too much of the time. They're disproportionately horrible people, right? Doesn't mean, the vast majority of the world's population are globers, and that's where by the raw numbers you'll find the horrible people. But when you take up as a proportion of their group, I think that flat earthers are disproportionately horrible people. And I have found that the religious ones are typically the most toxic and evil flat earthers, right? They're religious, but they're completely the opposite. They do not, there's no fruit on the tree. So then to go right to the lie that Dustin told. Dustin claimed that the ancients did better at predicting eclipses than we do today. And I said, well, let's see it. And he's like, well, anybody can look it up. And that tells you something. He is thoroughly indoctrinated. He has no clue about the topic. It's completely beyond him. He has no idea about it. He just repeated what he was told by somebody else. That is indoctrination. And it's super common on flat earthers that they will just parrot things that other people have said. All these other videos that he's showing, this is just parroting these other videos. He talks about the math for Eratosthenes. And he didn't show any math. And he believed that he just showed math. Right? That's a mental illness there. That he didn't even understand that his attempt to show math wasn't showing math. Yeah, he mentioned the Antikythera mechanism, which is just basically a physical implementation of the Saros cycles. It's very cool, but it's not predicting the path of totality of the April 8th eclipse. It's not. Okay. Let me scroll back and see what we got for some super chats here from this side that were coming out. So, all right, Mr. E-Man says for 5 Australian, there are less than 25% likes people. We can do better. There's 661 people currently watching. Feel free to click that thumbs up button, or if you don't like it, click the thumbs down button. I'm fine either way. It won't hurt my ego about that. Jorg Kruger, love that. J-O with umlauts, R-G, and then K-R-U with umlauts, G-E-R, for €5. Are you in Germany? Says, I love how you destroyed Dustin right at the beginning of the open debate. I mean, he couldn't stay on topic. That right there. You destroy yourself if you can't address the topic. It's the ultimate fail. Deflection is the ultimate fail. So, and then Jorg again says for €5, so much advertising on Dustin's site. Does he get commission for it? Well, he was on BitChute, which has advertisements on it. So, whatever. It was funny. Bill McGuire says this is all just intro to Flat Derp 101. Yes, oh my goodness, everything he had was from 5 years ago. It's like he's in a time loop. But whatever. Most of them are. You go on Facebook, they all are. MK Ultra says Dustin to English dictionary breaks down equals nuh-uh. Yeah. Bill McGuire again comes back with a $5 super chat. This is, I just took a screenshot of his flat aerial footage and compressed it. There is a curve. Of course there is. Of course there's a curve. Well, I showed this, right? There's the curve. He's like, you showed a curve at low elevation. Well, that's what the globe predicts. But he talked about crepuscular rays. If crepuscular rays are somehow like showing the real true position of where everything is in reality, where the sun is in reality. Well, then where's the sun here? These are anti-crepuscular rays, by the way. Well, then by that, then the sun is just outside this window, right? And then by that, then the sun is just right up in the trees here, right? That's if you're looking at crepuscular rays, if this is it, right? Jorg says he is in Germany. Very nice. And see, I used to work with a lady from Russia who knew German, and she said that she was talking about the person that owns a bar or a pub is a Kruger. Am I right on that? Is she right on that? Is my memory right on that? All right. Anyway, this is the video right here. Those look really stinking parallel, don't they? But when you get close to them, when you get from a different perspective, then somehow they seem to all converge toward the sun, even though they're parallel. So now you don't know, crepuscular rays don't mean they're parallel, but they definitely don't mean they converge. They mean you don't know anything yet. You need to do a little more than just looking at them to see what they actually are. So I did a few shorts on crepuscular rays. If you want to look on my my Conspiracy Tunes channel, this is the one I love the most. That's the sun after it's set. If crepuscular rays tell you where the sun actually is, then the sun is inside the water there behind that island. It doesn't really work. Something's not right there, crepuscular rays, people. And it really shows. It shows how poorly he thinks about things, and how he's not even up to speed. Like I don't think the frontline flat earthers are bringing up crepuscular rays. Maybe they are. They shouldn't. I mean, they should tell each other they shouldn't, but please keep bringing them up because they don't do anything for you. It's good comedy. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, although I was born male and identify as male, according to the side of the lasagna box, I'm a family of 4. But oh my gosh. You ate a whole thing of lasagna? Sounds good. Sounds good. A whole thing. I don't know if I could. Something to work up. Yeah, you got to have goals, right? PT Tony, for 5 Australians says, does this guy do anything other than vomit a series of unsubstantiated claims? No, he is it's like he just graduated from Flurf summer camp. He tried to get every single thing in the pamphlet. Cretan Ball says it's like this guy is breaking out of his 2016 Flurf starter kit for the first time. Yeah, I mean, you get it when you graduate Flurf summer camp, and he's like, I got my Flurf starter kit. Yay! Let me go over all the derpy things from that. Lord Illuminous Pooh says for $5, says, I completed the path of Gorian with my level 20 cleric of science. What's the path of Gorian? Do I know? I don't know what that is. It's not ringing a bell. But my level 20 cleric of science, I love that. That's funny. I read, if you've read Drizzt, right? Say it in the comments. If you've read Drizzt, what is he? Put it in the comments. The same author wrote a series of books about a cleric. And I like that. They got darker. They got kind of dark, but they were good. I liked them as well. I forgot what the name. Anyway, all right. Tim Pryor, I see your message me. Let's just clear it up, and I'll get you back. I'll get your mod back. I just want to make sure I don't know. I can't focus on what you said there right now. So, anyway, I forgot the name. Yeah, he's a drow. Good job. What was the name of the book about clerics, the series? Does anybody remember that the same guy wrote? Now I'm even forgetting the name of the guy. I've got all the books in the garage. It's right over there. I have a bin of books in the garage. And I have R.A. Salvatore is the guy's name. I just saw it in my head on the cover of a book. I do not have eidetic memory, but I can see the covers of books. And if I read something, I can see the page that it was on and the portion of the page it was on sometimes. Be like, I know it was on the top right side of the screen of the screen of the book. So, all right. R.A. Salvatore. Yeah, it's Forgotten Realms is the kind of the whole umbrella that it's in, which is like an AD&D side universe. Anyway, all right. Somebody will maybe remember the name of the books where it has the cleric that was in it. Anyway, Jorg Kruger said Dustin found his master in MC2. I mean, I tell you, if they can't stay on topic, then it's them waving the white flag of surrender. Lord Illuminous Poof says, did he cite Cubala, the Canadian Slim End Shady? He did. I wonder if Q-Baller sent him, Kevin from last week with Craig, I wonder if he sent him that measurement across the ice rink. It was so dumb. It's like, you just don't even have the most basic understanding of science. How did you determine that it didn't match the globe curve without determining how much globe curve there should be? You can't even determine, you have no clue how much curve must be there for the globe. Therefore, you can't even test. The Sun Express says, would be real nice if Flurf Nemos could explain the direction of the moon will travel during the upcoming solar eclipse. They can't even explain the totality. You think about that. Will it be a total eclipse, or a partial eclipse, or a hybrid eclipse? A hybrid eclipse, by the way, is hybrid because of the curve of the Earth. Never mind that. Just go total versus partial. You need to know the angular size of the sun and the moon, what size they will be in the future. And the only way to know that, well, maybe there's some other ways, but a really good way to know that is to know their actual physical diameter and their actual linear distance. Once you know that, you could determine the angular size of both of them. And then you can put them next to each other and you say, oh, well, the moon is going to be smaller or larger than the angular size of the sun. They can't do that because not one single flurf can actually give you the elevation of the sun over their dumb dirt pizza. Not even close. And none of them agree on it either. That's the other thing. If you saw my eclipse, or what was it, the presentation I did, one of them about the elevation of the sun, how Rowbottom has a different elevation than Gleason, has a different elevation than Voliva, has a different elevation than Eric Dubay and Carpenter, and all these flat earthers all have a different elevation of the sun. They can't even agree. There's only one sun. There's only one elevation at one time. You can't even get that. Steve6464 says, why do religious flurfs not like the calendar? Yeah, they're like, it was swapped, it was lies and blah, blah. So the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, which was a few centuries ago, switched. The Julian did not include leap day. And he's like, they had it perfect without this leap day stuff. Well, if you don't include leap day, then you constantly move forward and it changes, right? So if you're like, well, I want to have some event of the Earth-Sun relationship be like the same time of the year, well, then you can't be constantly shifting it. So the winter solstice, our winter solstice, the December solstice is right around the same time. And if you didn't account for leap day, it would be constantly moving. Every 4 years, it would move a day. After 40 years, it'd be 10 days shifted. That's not perfect. That's faulty. But they think there's some deception in fixing that. They're not smart. Jorg Kruger again says Dustin's tactic is to make as many claims as possible without evidence or staying on topic. Yes, that is again the 2016 graduate from Flat Earth from Flurf Summer Camp tactic. It's the shotgun approach. It's a way to deceive people, because somebody who doesn't understand these things and can't hasn't heard how to address these things or doesn't have the scientific background to look into them themselves, and a lot of people don't, can hear that and say, oh, I can't refute those things. Okay, that doesn't mean that they can't be refuted. It just means you can't refute them. Go talk to somebody and try to learn one topic. You know, he said lighthouses. Oh, go test lighthouses. He said the math for Eratosthenes. He couldn't even pronounce Eratosthenes. Neither could he pronounce the Pythagorean theorem. My goodness. I don't remember what he said. He doesn't even know how to say Pythagorean. That's how dumb he is, right? Anybody in the United States that graduated high school and did math knows the Pythagorean theorem by name. He clearly failed math so hard in school that he never learned the Pythagorean theorem, which is taught for sure in 11th grade math. It's taught earlier than that, but depending on your state or curriculum, whatever, you definitely get it by 11th grade, and he never got it. Obviously never got it. He's like, it's disproved by your whatever math. He doesn't even know it. Flat earthers, you're not smart. Know your place. Know your limitations, right? You know you're not good at math, so don't pretend that you can do math. All right, Jorg. Jorg Kruger says this insult is too much. What insult? Oh, yes, the one that he said. Of course, he got the walls were closing in on him. Steve6464 says every time you're on Modern Day Debate, you get called that word. No, not every time. When I was on with Nathan Erickson, it was perfectly fine. Nathan is a great guy. He's wrong, but he's a good guy. I like Nathan Erickson. And I'm looking forward to Joe Hill on April 13. Joe is a nice guy, right? He's wrong, but he's a nice guy, right? So flat earthers, could you just be nice? It's possible, but apparently. All right. Tim Pryor says, who said some inflammatory things there, said, I may piss some people off, but talking to flat earthers is exactly like talking to Democrats. They all say the same thing, word for word, trust me. I think, you know what I think you'll find? It doesn't matter what side of this political spectrum you're on. You can find somebody on the other side of that spectrum that talks like a flurf. The thing about politics is it's full of dumb people too. Right? Flat Earth is 100% dumb people. Politics is a whole range. There's a spectrum of intelligence in both parties, in all parties, it doesn't matter. So you're going to find it. So Tim, yes, you're correct. And everybody that's on the other end of the spectrum as Tim, you will also find the same thing. And it's not indicative of whatever party you don't like. That's not them. Right? There's dumb people, there's smart people. So, and there's people that are just doing it for wrong reasons in every party, everywhere in politics. You know, you look at it. Politicians, once they get elected, they have one goal: to get reelected. It doesn't matter what party they're in. When they say, I'm only going to serve one term, you know what they do? They all serve more than one term. Right? Maybe there's a couple counterexamples, but it's way too common where they do that. So anyway, I don't talk politics because it slices everybody, right? This is the way, we're looking at science. We're looking at the shape of the earth. But this way if you go talking about politics, and it's going to go this way. If you get too much into religion, it's going to go this way. If you start talking about what's the healthy thing to eat and what vitamins are best, and right, you just keep slicing around that way. We can all just be united in laughing at flat earthers. Let's do that. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, I can see the left to right curve at the shoreline, but I also spot 1/8 of an inch difference in pegboard from 10 feet away. 1/8 of an inch difference in a pegboard from 10 feet away. When you're looking at it straight on, or if you're looking at it long way, that's a pretty good eye there. I don't know. I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you put to the test on that one. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying I'm pressing X for doubt. How about that? Janusz Takas says, besides top left, you should do a bottom of the barrel or wall of shame award too. Looks like the Flurps are eager to get it. Yeah, I have a collection, a folder of these on my, mostly from Facebook and, screenshots that you can take. But yeah, videos of them being horrible is all too easy to find as well. Just go watch any Nathan Oakley show. You'll find it. Or QE. QE's even worse. Richie Ruggs. Are you new? You do same person with a different name? Welcome either way. For $10 says, would Karen B's unkept bush be in danger to others aboard the ISS? Shame on you for being so funny. I mean, wrong. That's not the right way to talk. Yadawat says, do you have an insight into why Flurfs grasp onto claims against people they might not like? Is this just bias we all suffer from or something worse than from flat earth thought or though? Anyway, okay. I'll go with the bias part first. We all suffer from a potential to bias ourselves. We all do, really. And we need some we need to police ourselves on that. And here's a couple examples. How many times have you heard a glober say you can see the left or right curve from a window in an airplane? They keep saying it, but you really can't. You're not high enough to see much, and out that window, it's too narrow. Maybe in the cockpit with the really wide view, you could see a little, but at 35,000 feet through that window, probably not. Another is I've heard plenty, not nearly as many, but plenty say that with a big telescope you could see, they say, the flag on the moon. Now that is a tempting thing to claim, isn't it? Wouldn't it be great if you could? Unfortunately, you can't. It's the Rayleigh criterion. In order to resolve that much detail, you'd need to have a gigantic aperture, and there's simply not large enough aperture that you could build on the surface of the Earth, and you could not put one in orbit around the Earth with that size of an aperture easily. You could maybe do something folding like the James Webb, but optically, it's harder. But with mirrors, do a mirror, reflecting telescope potentially. But why would you do that? You just go closer and there's plenty of photographs from the moon orbiting, the LRO orbiting the moon, where you can actually see the all of the landing sites in detail, multiple pictures of the landing sites. So so why that? All right, so there's our bias. Don't let ourselves be biased. Always self-police. I figured this out 6 years ago when it comes to this topic. I figured it out before that for other topics. We all have that. Don't let yourself fall into it. Test yourself. So why do Flurfs do this ad hom thing, this claims against people? Well, it goes right to this one letter thing, the one letter conspiracy group. They think that everybody in charge does that, and they think that the nameless people that are over them have set them up and are blackmailing them. So they think, and if you look at that single letter conspiracy, this is in there, that they think that they've got them all on camera doing that they set them up. Somehow they were set up, and then they get done, and they're like, okay, we have video of you doing this. Now you must do what we say. This is what the single letter conspiracy people think. And how did they come to that? Well, they are easily fooled. How they don't have evidence of it, of course. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that do that. There certainly are. And I'm not saying that the person that owns that island wasn't partaking in that. I don't know. There are some suspicious things. but I don't know. So I'm not going to say it. But they like to wrap it around that guy. You know what I mean? So that's where Dustin is coming from. And I think a lot of them are in that same mindset. You know, they're like, well, they think that the ruling elite is all evil and they are the good people. And therefore, they have the upper hand. They are the only true people. And they have to then vilify everybody else. And that's what they're doing. So that's how they get around their constant failures, I think, because there's no measurements. There's no photographs of the entire Earth from the entire flat Earth. There's no actual people that have gone to the ice wall. There's nobody that's ever gone past it there's nobody that's ever seen touched the dome or been to. None of these things exist, right? And so it's just this constant failure of flat earthers. That's all they are. It's a chain of failures. And they're like, well, why? Well, they have to then blame somebody else, not themselves, right? Not the reality that the earth is not flat. They have to blame. So, so Algorithm is saying the guy who owned the island and a certain ex-president were good pals. Just saying. It doesn't mean that, though. That's the thing. I'm not saying yes or no to anything. I'm just saying it does not follow. It's a non sequitur that they're good friends. One person does something wrong. This person is a friend. Therefore, this person did that same wrong thing. It does not follow. All right. All of us know somebody that's done wrong things, and you didn't do it. Right? The guilty by association doesn't fly. You actually need evidence for it. So, all right. That's enough on Yadawat. Got a bunch of time on that one. So thank you, Yadawat. Marcus Wynn says, MC2, I never understand why flat earthers never bring the sun back into view after sunset, the same way they do with ships. Well, first of all, they never do with ships. There's a couple things about flat earthers that have this blind faith religion. And one of them is they think that ships get brought back into view. Another is they think that the ancients predicted eclipses better than we do today. So there's these two things that are super easy to identify as not true. But they all think it, almost all of them. I won't be quite as sweeping. And Dustin again today, he proudly declared that he thought that ships were brought back. And same thing for ancients predicting eclipses, doing a better job. And what was his evidence? Leap days. That was it. That was all he's going to have. So, all right. CJ Lamoureux says he was a straight coward from the beginning. Tune. Yes. Yeah, he was. He would not address the topic. Failure. Why? Interesting. All right. Taking back Eden. You can email me, mctune@mctune.net, the backing evidence for that. I'll catch up to that in a minute here. Tim Pryor says, wasn't trying to be mean, just making a statement. It's weird that they have the same talking points. Yep. And I'll say that again, one more time. Everybody has that of the other side of many, many disagreements that have sides. CJ Lamoureux gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much for that, CJ. And if you're one of the recipients, be sure to thank CJ. You maybe already have. Uncle Dan58 says, never had a bingo card filled in 5 minutes before. Oh, I need to review my bingo card. Thanks for reminding me. I was marking it off in the meantime while he was going through his Flurf packet, but I took notes on the side here of all of his shotgun claims. So, all right. YouTube does it. It accounts for BitChute as evidence, right? CGI, of course. I already got 8 inches per mile. I got fake. We got bad math. We got C too far. He said pressure without a container. He went with that. Did he say angular resolution? I don't know. expects to see 1 degree of curve. Yeah, when he was talking about the left to right curve of a horizon picture at low elevation. And then, did he say wandering stars? If he did, I got a bingo. I don't remember him saying it. So there are a few online bingo cards. So this is on my website, just mctoon.net. Search for bingo. You can find this and print them out. And there's 33 different ones in the PDF. It's a PDF with 33 different ones. And the 33rd one has the eye in the middle. It's a poke at them, right? Dustin thinks that everybody he doesn't like is a Freemason. Why? I don't know. It's so dumb. Anyway. Poorly done flat earth experiments. Water finds its level. Quote mining out of context. Did he do that? Liz K says, yes, he did in the opening derp of Wandering Stars. Yeah, he did imply it with the Big Dipper and a certain German leader. Next time the picture of the Alps comes up, please ask them to point out which peaks they have identified. Yeah, you know what I want to do? I'm going to have to just put on my webpage. Globey McGlobeface did a really, he has the best analysis of it. He found another picture where the cloud bank isn't there and the horizon is lower. So that view across there where they think it's the mountains, that's not the horizon. That's a bunch of clouds too. Those are low-lying clouds, and then the little white ones that you see are higher clouds and farther away. So he did a great analysis of it. So in when you do the side-by-side of the horizon of both of them, you're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's not even the horizon. It can't be. And what did Dustin do? He lied. You see, this shows his mindset, his mentality. He said, go look at the other photos. There's no other photos. There's one instance of that photo like that. All other photos from there don't show that same thing. So, all right, Wandering Stars. He did not say laser test. I don't think he said fisheye. All right. Wandering Stars. So people, you think he said Wandering Stars? All right. I already got bad math. So, all right, I'm going to go with Wandering Stars because he did talk about stars. He did talk about the Big Dipper. So there you go. I got a diagonal right there. Thanks, Dustin. I got a bingo. So, all right. Taking Back Eden says, we'll wait. I had a Globe Defender confirm for me the stream after the Vika debate. I had a screenshot of the stream. I don't send it to me. Yeah, send it to me you can email it to me. Go create if you don't want me to have your email address, go create one at Proton Mail. You can send it to me. All right. So he did. He mentioned lasers in the hockey rink. Oh, perfect. So I got another. I got 2. I got a vertical right there. Sweet. All right. That one's for sure. Well, no, they both rely on Wandering Stars. So, okay. Thank you for that, Uncle Dan, for the bingo. Todd's Tech Tales says he's like the Wish version of Eric Dubé. Dubé's a different version of Religiflurf, though. Dubé's not a Religiflurf, actually, where Dustin is. Dustin, did you hear his ego in the beginning? He's like, tens of thousands of people have come to Christ because of me. Man, the pride. Just so you know, the Bible does not speak highly of people with that kind of pride. It says God opposes them. All right, Mr. E-Man gifted 5 memberships. Thank you for that. And if you were the recipient, thank him as well. We got Battle Against Misinformation. I love that name. Said, missed the debate. I'm sure the Flurf made himself look stupid. He did. Please continue the battle against misinformation. PhD Tony is my science hero. He is a great science hero for all of us to to identify as our own personal science hero. MK Ultra is asking the R.A. Salvatore, the Cleric Quintet. Yes, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, that series. That was a good series. It's dark, but it was a good series. But I think I like the Drizzt ones. I chewed them up. I read every one of them. And then I stopped reading that type of stuff, and so there's probably more after that, and so my collection is incomplete. But Lord Illuminous Pooh says he kept saying Pythagorean as the Path of Gorean. Oh, the Path of Gorean. That's the level 20 cleric. Path of Gorean. Okay, I get it now. Reading it versus saying it versus hearing it. Yeah, you don't get to bring up math if you can't even say Pythagorean theorem. Right? It's obvious you suck at math. Lord Illuminous Pooh says he kept saying Pythagorean theorem as Path of Gorean. Ed's Puzzle says, I discovered why we see too far. It's not refraction. It's our exclusive orbital observation grill. A totally real thing. Well, they just make up, and my guess is that they just make up the azimuthal grid of vision lie because they don't understand the refraction. When we talk about refraction, it's based on actual real world empirical evidence, right? The effects of refraction have been empirically verified, controlling for confounding variables outside of over water, right? Where you don't know, where they measured the actual vertical temperature gradient. And they said, look, our predictions based on the physics and Snell's law and the observations in reality, they line up. We made a prediction, reality confirms it. That's how you know that the things that we do with refraction are correct. And I have a collection of them, mc2.net/refraction. Go there, and this is what they don't do generally. They don't ever go look at the actual empirical evidence for it. Jaron did. I'm going to tell you. There's the one that's, I think it's the 5th one on that page from the National Geodetic Survey. Jaron read that one. He did, and he had questions for me. I'm like, oh, I got to go reread it to answer the question. So, a lot of people disagree with my take on Jaron. That's fine. He read it. No other flat earther has. So, there's a whole bunch of other stuff he's off in goofy space with, but he actually read it. So, I don't know. What do you say to that? I tell him to read it, knowing they won't, and then he reads it. I'm like, hey, you proved me wrong when I thought you wouldn't. Good on you. So, all right. CJ Lamoureux gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. The Sun Express is quite curious how the Flurfs defer to ancient Middle Eastern mythology tropes as evidence. It's the most irrational thing to do. Yeah, and it's not, Middle Eastern mythology. It's not just that, right? They're like, well, the Chaldeans, the Mayans did. Mayans aren't, Middle Eastern. The Mayan calendar was perfect. It had errors too. And it had things in it to deal with the weirdness of the orbit of the Earth. But yeah, they do. And I think I preempted that in my 2 things in the opening statement, right? The one saying that they do that, the straw man plus false dichotomy thing that he did constantly. But the religious portion of it, which I know he's a religious flurf, I think he avoided doing those types of arguments for that reason, right? And he's constantly quoting Skiba, who's the Papa Flurf for all of the religious flurfs. Skiba wasn't toxic though, so. But I got information. Can't share it. Thank you, Dan. You know who I'm talking to. CV McCullers says, pejoratives are bad. I get Ryan trying to hold it together, but there is a line. You should try calling them ignorant instead of liars. I respect you holding your ground. That's a fight in person. Well, yeah. What do you do? So this is the conundrum. When somebody tells a lie, they're lying. If they don't know they're telling a lie, but they're telling a lie, are they a liar? In some definitions, they are, right? But some people are like, well, they have to knowingly be lying, which then excuses the pathological liar who thinks that they're telling the truth, but they're lying, and they know the information, but because they have a psychological problem, they lie. So I don't know. And you're right. So the other version of it is either they're lying, which if you're going to say it has to be knowing, okay, they are either knowingly lying about something, or they're extremely gullible or dumb, or they're a sheep, they're indoctrinated, a version of that, which is, with few exceptions, what they are. Yes. Okay. Right. The people that actually made the meme of the Mars, the faked Mars ones, where the flat earthers are faking the Mars things and claiming it's NASA doing the faking. The person who made that lied. The people that repeat it without critical analysis of it, who say, oh, look, that's on NASA's website, without actually finding it on NASA's website, they are ignorant, gullible, stupid, indoctrinated. So what was this message deleted by PhD Tony? What was that about? Hold on a second. Hold on. I think I have. Did I disconnect it? I used to use a oh yeah, it's not there. Okay. I used to use something if this then that to post all super chats to Discord, but it broke. And they changed their stuff, and anyway, so I don't know what was that. I don't even know whose that was at this point. Okay. Anyway, all right, CV McCullough, I'll take that. And I'll try to update. I try to have a response that makes sense to that, right? When somebody's repeating a lie, what do you call them? Stuff. Happy Herps and Derps says, have been out of the flat earth space for quite a while. Where did Kiwi go? He was hilarious. He's still around. Quantum Eraser is still around. He's, I don't think he's doing quite as much, but I saw something recently from him. So he's still doing it. So, Justin, I forgot his last name. So a religious guy, Christian guy, had done a video saying that this photograph of the clouds being illuminated from the bottom debunks flat earth. Just a short one, and he got a huge lashback on that. So then he had an interview, like it was a 3-hour video. He interviewed Danny Faulkner, a friend of mine. Talked to Danny often. He's a young earther. We don't get along there, but I set that aside because we are in the flat earth debunking thing. So I'm like, Danny, let's just talk about that. And so Danny and Justin had this thing, and man, Quantum Eraser, claiming to be a Christian, had a very non-Christian response to that. The fruit is not on the tree. So disgusting, absolutely disgusting response. I can't believe he even would pretend to claim that moniker, because so far. CV McCullough says, the reputation of flat earth is getting infuriating anymore. It's more anger than humor when I listen to the same tired talking points. Read a book, move on. Yeah. Okay, so here is Taking Back Eden said, why did you, in all caps, why did you delete the Earth from the Moon video? So I don't know what video you're talking about, the Earth from the Moon video. Was it a, okay, so I think I remember you were talking about, you had asked me something. So Taking Back Eden is a flat earther, and it specifically asked me for a photograph of the Earth from the moon. So sometimes, I think it was an after show something. So here's what I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll delist an after show. It's still there. It's unlisted. So typically then it's in a playlist. So I have playlists of debates, and there are a couple that are unlisted for different, very good reasons. In fact, I've had a couple of them. People have asked me to unlist them, and I've done it. Right? If somebody comes back later and says, you know what, that was embarrassing. That was bad for me. I was going through a bad time, whatever. I don't want that video of me out there anymore. I'll take it down. I have. That's why, right? So somebody asked me, absolutely. I did that for one guy, and then he took down 2 of his videos, and then he started attacking me again, right? I had parked it. We're done. Thank you. We don't need to continue, and we'll shake hands and walk away. And then he started attacking me. So I relisted the videos, right? But anyway, so it might have been that. I don't remember exactly which video. It might have just been an after show. So sometimes I unlist after shows, because if I do a primary show and then an after show, I want YouTube to promote the primary show. The after show is the most recent one, so YouTube will by default promote the most recent one. And I want the other one promoted, so I'll unlist it so YouTube knows which to promote. Then a day or two later, sometimes, not always, I'll relist. But nobody gets a notification of it then. It just is there again in the listing on my channel. So if you know the date that it was, I can give you the link to it. If I'm correct in what you're asking for there. Taking back Eden. Freelance Minion says, I'm hungry, could go for a Pythagorean snack. Oh my gosh, he could not pronounce that. It's so funny. Stringer is one. Says, I spent the last 2 hours running downstairs to feed the birds. Finally, they've gone to their trees to sleep. So what did I miss? You missed Dustin Nemos spreading his graduated from Flat Earth Summer Camp in 2016 packet. So he got the packet for graduating Flat Earth Summer Camp, and he went through the whole thing. Taking Back Eden, again, if you want, Taking Back Eden, send me your address and I'll send you a keyboard with a working caps lock key. No charge. Anyway, he says, much love. Thank you for choosing Jesus and God. Yes, you're welcome. I'm welcome to me. For those that accept that Jesus is God and all of the stuff that comes with it, then they think and believe wholeheartedly, hopefully, that there is something that changed because of it. Myself included. So it's not the topic of my channel, though, but thank you for that. Tim Pryor says, you don't like when Flat Earthers censors, but you did it to me. Thanks. Tim. I didn't. You know what I censor. What I choose to censor is those types of things, those accusations, the P word accusation. Those, no. So yes, I will censor that, and Flat Earthers should censor that. I think everybody should say, now that unless there's it really happened, that's not the place to be doing it. So that I back. The one comment that was deleted, I'll do that. And Tim, I'll remod you. But just leave those off, okay? PT Tony says, I'm an ill-tempered Aspergery old fart, but thank you for the kind words. I was listening to James Randi talk, one of his old talks from 92 when he was at Caltech. And he said in that video that he thought that when PhDs diplomas are handed out, the person that's handing them out wears gloves, and that he hypothesized that the reason why they wore gloves is because the paper has a certain compound that when the recipient of it, the PhD, when they receive that piece of paper, that whatever is on that paper absorbs through the skin and changes their DNA so that then they become an actual PhD. He may be wrong on that hypothesis, but Tony, that's I don't know why I said that. It was a fun video. Glenn Riley says, I love watching you lay the smackdown on Flurfs. Thank you, Glenn. Southern Sal SHGH is a member at Newton. New member, thank you. Mr. E-Man says, I hope that people had a good time in the chat. Thank you all. Thanks, Mr. E-Man. Lord Illuminous Boost says, as Tim Davidson is my Bruce Wayne, everyone talking to Pryor is distracting. I see Tim and think, no poo. Yes, Lord Illuminous Pooh is Tim Davidson. Tim Pryor is not Tim Davidson. Eddie Reese says, thank you for putting up with Despicable Flurfs. Lord Illuminous Pooh again says there's a difference between being mistaken and lying. A mistake can be corrected. It's true. Repeating something that's wrong unknowingly. Yeah. At the same time, let's do this. Does this change it? Somebody like Dustin has a platform, or Dearth has a platform, and people watch them, and they're putting themselves out in front of people as an authority on the topic. Do they I think, yes, I definitely think that when you are in that position, you have a higher responsibility to look into things than if you were just somebody sitting on Facebook parroting a meme. I definitely think that. Spider-Man, with great power. With great power comes great authority, responsibility. All right. With great power comes great responsibility. So I think that, and obviously, Darth and Dustin, they don't think that at all. They think it's perfectly fine for themselves to repeat things with absolutely zero verification. But I don't think so. So I think that they should get more scrutiny for that. CV McCullers says, for clarity, using ignorant as an experiment is an experiment to see if any affront cases causes ad hom. The choice of debate losers since existence. Using ignorant is an experiment to see if any affront causes ad hom. I'm going to have to parse that there. If you call somebody, is this what you're saying? If in a debate you call somebody ignorant, then their response is an ad hom. You've tested, right? You call them ignorant as a test, and then they flip to ad hom. Then that outs them as a debate loser. It cycles them down. Yeah, I can see that. So all right. I'll put this. Calling them ignorant. That is an ignorant claim of Soros cycles being better than today's eclipse predictions instead of a lie. Calling it a lie. All right. I think we're onto something there. I think I'm on to. Yeah. I will try to amend that and think more on that. 3 Ron says, I'm way behind the books are the cleric. I'm way behind the books of the cleric quintet. Yes. Thank you, 3 Ron. So, all right. Oh, flat earth math. If you don't love flat earth math, and by that I mean the channel, Charles is his name. He's not a flat earther. If you don't love him, then I have a problem. So find the channel Flat Earth Math and go subscribe to it, and then go watch all his videos. He is fantastic. And he just sent me an email at 7:49. I haven't read it yet, but he has done, and I watched this, I think his introductory video where he's doing globe predictions for the eclipse and showing how to do it using the kinds of things that we as non-multi-million dollar a year recipients can do. And that's another losery angle for flat earthers. Like, oh, well, I could do it if I had $1 million a day. No, that's not the runaway you think it is. That's not the escape you think it is, because these things were all figured out before NASA. Right? The He's like, well, if you believe that. No, really, Edmund Halley predicted the eclipse in 1715. He did. Well in advance, specifically the time and the path of totality. He was 4 minutes off and 20 miles off. 20 miles off. Right? And then a few years later, 1724, another eclipse crossed England. He used what he learned from the first one, corrected his adjusted the procedure, and he nailed the actual prediction. So anyway, so flat earth math is doing like, how can we as just regular people figure out some different aspects of the eclipse? So let's see. Tim Pry. Hold on. I'm going to read this quick here. This email. Made a comment. Yeah, Okay. All right. So anyway, Tim, let's talk. Send me a message, Tim. I got no beef with you, man. So, all right. Booba Sweat says you work for NASA plus you get a YouTube millions. That's why you can do math. Yeah. They can't even do anything. Okay. Well, it is the question is are they still doing it? So Ozian was going to be doing an after show, and on Matters Now. And so yes, they're still going. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to say thank you very much to everybody here who joined along, who was on this live stream for the yet again Flat Earthers fail, yet again Flat Earthers show that they are despicable people. So it doesn't hurt me, right? What I'm doing is exposing them, shining a spotlight on their failures to do anything, on their inability to actually test the globe and analyze the globe, and on how disproportionately horrible they are. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to jump on Matters Now. And let's see here. Yeah. And I will put that here. Taken Back Eden says, if Flat Earth is correct, how should the government release the news and deal with any angry citizens? Nobody would be angry. People say, oh, all right. Right? This is the thing. Flat Earthers, you are emotional and you have a religious belief about the shape of the earth. We have a fact-based empirical evidence position on the shape of the earth. Right? There's a big difference there. You have a religion, we have evidence. Otto says for $2, later on, Potato Tron. And CJ Lamoureux says flurpers have no class. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that everybody enjoys the eclipse. And on Monday, I hope it's clear skies for everyone. And I didn't prep anything. I didn't prep my outro. There it is. All right, everybody. I'll see you over on Matters Now in a few minutes. Here we go.
MC2, drop that beat.
All right. Let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this. So,
let's do this. Yo, it's MC2, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC2, the monsoon cartoons. I'm the real say, send it first to their dues. Your theories are like old brews, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views.
FDFE stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting.
MC2, the platoon with silver spoons. I have the pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the rude. When it comes to debunking, I'm the rude.
Here we are now, entertainers, I'm alive.
in the rizzle dizzle.
But hey, FTFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk, plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I got the upper hand in word and deed.
All right, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died. No.